Okay, so hopefully my sound alerts work this time. All my fun sound alerts broke last time.
Your soundboard broke?
My sound alerts broke.
Oh, sound alert. What's
Yeah.
a sound alert for?
It'll probably echo, but it's funny to hear anyway. For example. Ooh, I got double alerts going on. Hold on, let me fix that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Radiant's trying to roll over, by the way, if you can hear him. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, Papa. Come on. Hi. Why can't I ever remember where my shirt is? No. No. Yeah. Okay, so for example, we have this one that is one of my viewers' favorites.
Farting?
Yeah. They crashed yesterday, and it was kind of sad.
Aww.
Yeah. We kept testing it, and it didn't work. Coda made this one. This one's how he enters the chat.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody
gets left behind
or forgotten.
It's Marines Creed.
I'm gonna put my earbud in so it doesn't echo on the mic all the time. Where are you going?
Grandma should crawl over here to her.
Well, he's got a little bit of a blockade at the angle he's at right now.
Oh, get over it.
So, my mom thought it'd be fun to react to Reddit stories, so I saved some. We can also we can either scroll through this and you can see one that you like and stop and read it. Just read the titles. So that means, am I the asshole?
Okay.
Do you want to go through the ones that I saved, or do you want to scroll through and just see what happened? What happens?
I think you know best what I'm going to react to.
I don't know. I tried using ones that are like more parent ones, or just ones that I thought you would find interesting, but I also had no idea.
You're going backwards, dude. Yeah, you are. Turn around and scoot your butt to me.
Where are you going? Okay, so the first one we have is, am I the asshole for not helping my broke friend because she got a tattoo? I feel like you would have opinions because of tattoos.
Yeah, I love tattoos.
Yeah. But I don't know the context of this because, like, I am broke. I'm not broke, but I don't have a job. So I'm kind of broke. But, like, I never got a tattoo that wasn't, like, I saved to get my tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you bought tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my first tattoo was a birthday present. From mom.
From me.
Yeah. That was my first tattoo, was a birthday present from her. And then we have our matching one that's on my chest that everyone sees. Everyone makes comments when they see my tattoo, like what it is, asks me to describe it, and then I have to iterate just that it's our matching tattoo over and over again.
We both have a favorite flower. So we got the favorite flowers. So we each have it.
Yep. And then this one was a flash sale for Halloween.
Which I yelled at her for.
Yeah.
Well,
But
with that thing in her nose.
But I couldn't get makeup. I have two things. I had two things in my nose. One of them fell out.
Which I really desperately wanted to hook together so I could put a nose ring on her.
They are nose rings.
No, I mean, so I can put like a bull ring around them and pull you by your nose.
See, that would be if I got a bull ring, though. That,
No, I can fix it into a bull
No.
ring.
No. You piggy my child up. You giving him taking enough energy out of himself.
Hi.
His bottle is on the other side of the bookshelves.
Yes.
If he ends up wanting that, I'm pretty sure it is. Should be in the top parts. Whee! Okay, so am I an asshole for not helping my broke friend because she got a tattoo? Any opinions on just the title?
My opinion is, yeah, your broke friend shouldn't be getting a tattoo if your broke friend can't afford her freaking tattoo.
So one of my friends has been complaining about money a lot recently. It's gotten to the point where 2 days ago, she said that she was so broke she wasn't able to afford to eat and was skipping whole days worth of eating because she just had no food. And she bought a tattoo,
Sounds like bullshit to me.
right? Sounds like she wants your money. I felt sympathy because I've struggled a lot with finances. I still do a little bit, but not as badly as I used to. Since I'm doing okay enough right now, I offered to help her out with food. Uh-oh. That was your mistake.
Yep.
I do a budgeting plan with my meals / meal prep where I use these compartment containers and I'll make 10 portions of 3 different meals every 2 weeks. I did that while I was living on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how to cook for one person.
I used to make an entire lasagna and then just eat it all week long.
Yeah.
Just a slice, an 1.5-inch slice every day.
Yeah.
Budget your shit.
I just I don't know how to cook for one person, so if I cook, it's for at least 2 to 3 people. And I always had a bunch of leftovers, so I just turned those into my meal prep food when I was living on my own. I rotate the menu because based on what's on sale, then I put them into my deep freezer. I have ADHD and this works really well for me. I have a bit of extra meal stock at the moment because I don't always eat all the prep trays before I make the next batch. Since I always do it every 2 weeks, I have around 25 extra meals in my freezer right now. What does your ADHD have to do with that?
Because you got it organized.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Super organization because you got ADHD.
Maybe. Hi, baby.
Can't decide what you're going to eat, but it's in there, so you eat
You
what
have
you got.
options. Since I have extra, I was originally just gonna not meal prep at the start of next week, but instead I decided to offer to drop my friend off some of my surplus so she has something to eat. I was gonna drop it off today after work, but right when I was getting off work, I was watching Snapchat stories and saw her post one. She went and got a tattoo today as part of a Friday the 13th flash sale. Okay, flash sales aren't expensive.
No, they're not expensive, but still, if you can't afford food,
No, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying flash sales are not expensive. When I was thinking tattoo, I was thinking like full sleeve tattoo.
regardless, it is not a need.
No.
Food is a need.
I know it is.
Paying your utilities is a need.
I feel like I'm being attacked right now. I'm familiar with the artist who did the because I recognized their flash from their Instagram. I was considering going in for one, but didn't do it because I don't really have the extra money right now. They're all pre-priced prices. And that one is 180. Oh my god, that's not a flash sale.
So, yes.
That's not a flash sale.
$180 could have got a lot of food.
Yes, it could have. That's not a flash sale. Oh my god. You know what I paid for this? I paid less than $50 for this. And I stood there for like 3 hours before I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then an hour because I did my tattoo and then another friend of mine did her tattoo. This was less than $50. That's $180. It's not a flash sale. It may be a Flash Friday the 13th thing, but it's not a sale. Oh my god. I've been debating about getting flash sales, but all of them are like ranging from $50 to $100. And I'm like, I'm not willing to do that with my financial situation.
Your mom got get upset with you. Yeah.
You always get upset with me. Anything I do, you get upset with me, so. I don't know why, but it's kind of PMO.
I
I don't know either.
don't use freaking acronyms. I just speak.
I'm not that much of a Gen Zer. Because she literally just told me about how she was so broke she couldn't afford to eat, but yet was able to pay for a tattoo. When I was struggling financially, I didn't get tattoos. I messaged her about it and asked about how she was able to afford a tattoo, and she basically just said, I'm always able to scrounge up cash for new tattoos.
I'm able to
Bitch.
scooch up some cash for fucking food.
Right? Dude, you could get like, when I was living on my own and I was trying to pay back a friend for helping me get my apartment on my own, as well as my mom. You know where I shopped? Fucking Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
I shopped at Dollar General for food and got the cheapest brand I could get for everything, and enough that I like a box of mac and cheese lasted me like 3 or 4 days. I ate like once to twice a day because I was trying to save money. Because I went from 2 jobs to 1 job in the first month of me living there, so I was trying to build up money. I then told her that I'm not bringing her those meals because if she has enough for a new tattoo, she must not be that desperate. She freaked out on me and called me a bitch and said I was being classist, and that poor people are allowed to have nice things. Yes, they are. But most poor people
Work for that shit.
work for it and they budget for it. Which I do agree with, but I feel like it doesn't apply to the situation. But now I feel like an asshole, and my friend is mad at me. Am I the asshole?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
I was thinking, oh, she's low on money, and she managed to scrounge enough money to get something she really was excited for that was cheap.
Regardless.
It's not that.
How long have I needed a hearing aid?
At least a year.
Eh,
Probably a lot longer,
a
honestly.
lot longer.
You have horrible hearing.
Have horrible hearing. I'm working in a factory that has a lot of background noise. I have low tone hearing loss. A lot
So,
of low tone hearing.
For anyone that doesn't know what that means, so if anyone had like a deeper voice,
Men's voices usually.
she can't hear it.
Yeah, you can talk, you can yell at me. Normally, I can't hear. So I've needed a hearing aid for a very long time, and I refuse to pay $5,000 damn dollars for a hearing aid.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, they've been coming down in price. You know, technology the way it is. They've been looking at cheaper ways to make hearing aids that you don't go to the doctor for. I need one that blocks out background noise
Mm-hmm.
because I work in a factory with a lot of noise. So the first time I looked at it, $300. That is very cheap. It's a lot cheaper than $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
That gets rid of background noise. I refuse to get it. How long has it been? 2 months that I've been talking about this?
Even longer than that. It was shortly after I think he was born.
Yeah.
Because I answered a phone call about it.
About it.
Yeah, from your phone.
Yeah, so I have finally broken down and decided to go ahead and get them when this week there was a bunch of machines going at once and there were 3 people trying to talk to me and I couldn't hear a damn thing they were saying.
Yeah.
So I have broken down and spending $300 on freaking hearing aids.
He's just smiling because you're telling
That is a worthy expense to go ahead and put the money towards.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Welcome into Mom Rants at this point. I'm looking. The first comment says, not the a-hole. If she's always able to scrounge up cash for a new tattoo, she should be able to scrounge up cash for food too.
Exactly what I said.
It sounds as if she's just giving you a sob story to get something for nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Want other people to take care of your needs so you can go get your wants.
Yeah. I'm reading.
Sorry to say, that's exactly what government assistance is. We all pay for you to have fun.
Are you talking about me feeding him?
No.
Okay. I was
No.
going to say, we did the math on how much his cans of formula
Oh,
cost.
it's absolutely
my
ridiculous.
God. It's at least $300 for the amount of cans we get at one time.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason that baby formula should cost that much. It's not like it's made of gold.
No, and it's not like I physically wasn't able to breastfeed him.
Mm-mm.
So it wasn't like I had another option. I wanted to, that way it was cheaper on us.
Yeah, you tried and tried and tried.
And nothing. He wouldn't latch. I couldn't pump. It was bad.
Yeah.
And I pumped at least 3 to 4 times a day because
Just kept trying.
I kept trying and I was engorged. It hurt so bad. I mean, better than the first time. The first time I pumped, I didn't even get an inch of formula, of breast milk out.
Mm-mm.
The entire time I was in the hospital, I wasn't able to even get a ounce out.
And that was after 4 days
Mm-hmm.
of being stuck in the hospital.
Not even an ounce.
Excuse me.
You're excused. Oh my god. This is one big thread. It's just this one comment.
I want to know if anybody defended the person
Defended the person?
who got the tattoo.
Not on this thread.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying not the a-hole. Someone said that where I live in the UK, that would buy me 3 meals for a week. Like a week of 3 different meals. Lol, you're apparently classist because you're unwilling to bail her out of her poor financial decisions. Not the a-hole. No, it looks like everyone's saying not the a-hole.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer. Not the a-hole.
Someone said be the a-hole. It's
I mean,
funny.
I'd be a complete asshole and say, hey, don't even come over to my house to have a meal with me at this point. I won't even share it all.
No?
Yeah, don't even come over to hang out. You're not using my electricity. You're not using my food.
Mom's holding the baby, and he loves it when she talks. So he's really happy right now. Am I the a-hole for renting an apartment without telling my parents, even though they depend on me emotionally?
Oh, I depend on you emotionally, and you still got an apartment.
Yeah, I got an apartment. I lived on my own. We lived an hour and a half away from each other.
Yes.
We just called every day. We literally called every day. And it's funny, we live together and we still text every day.
Yes. No.
Honestly, most of my texts, though, are just cute pictures of my child. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not the asshole for renting an apartment. Kids got to grow up. I understand that. As close as we were, I mean, it was just me and you from the time you were a year old, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then another 2 years, another year after you graduated,
Yeah, about a year.
because we moved out here
Mm.
to middle of nowhere, where we have nobody.
Yeah.
Because I don't make friends not very easily.
No, Mom doesn't make friends, like, at all.
No.
She tried making a friend. It didn't go well.
No.
I think the one friend Mom made just liked having her around to gripe. The person we worked with, that was honestly just a really big bitch that only worked to have spending money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. The first friend I made out here tried to get in my pants.
Yeah, the first friend I made it here was tried to get in my pants.
Which friend?
When you told me to get a hiking buddy.
Oh.
Man, my daughter doesn't like the outdoors
No.
at all. At all. I am a complete outdoor person.
The issue was that you got a male hiking buddy.
Well, it wasn't like I was going to find a female hiking buddy.
I know, but that was the issue. It's the male hiking buddy. Because for some reason, we just attract weirdos.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, the first friend I made out here tried to get in my pants. And I made it very avidly clear that I was in a relationship and that nothing was going to happen, and he still tried.
I was not in a relationship, but I think I made it quite clear that I was not
Interested?
interested.
No. Yeah.
But then I turned into their bestest buddy who want to move me in and meet all their friends.
Move you in?
Yes, offered to move me into their house. Yeah, no. Nope.
No. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, bless you. I-24F. Oh yeah. You're not that asshole. I'm just gonna go with that right now.
24F.
Female.
Female?
24 female. I'm gonna go with not the asshole.
No, not the asshole.
'Cause, dude, I moved out at.
And only 6 minutes from the parents. We are an hour and a half away.
Oh my god. Recently rented an apartment 6 minutes from my parents' house. I didn't tell them beforehand, just told them after everything was signed, and now they're saying I betrayed them. Sounds like you got some children as your parents. For context, I have a full-time job as a civil servant in IT. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Not as chill as people assume. I'm graduating college this year, and I make enough to support myself comfortably. Yay! I rent this place because I'm really sick. Like,
Medically sick.
medically sick. A few days ago, I got test results showing my stress system has collapsed from chronic stress. Stress system has collapsed. What?
Apparently, she's got some anxiety issues.
Really high anxiety. I had nearly an anxiety attack the other day, and I cleaned most of the house.
I like that.
That I cleaned most of the house while I had anxiety. I was awake for like 4 hours longer than I should have.
That's exactly what I do when I get stressed, is super clean the house.
You know what was funny?
What?
You were still at work that day. I did it before you got home. I just was finishing up when
And you
were
noticed
getting
what I
home.
did yesterday.
Yeah.
Clean the whole fucking house.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I didn't do was sweep because my child was asleep. Yeah. My doctor said if I keep living like this, I'll start experiencing symptoms similar to menopause by 25.
What?
That scared me. I mean, anxiety can affect periods.
I mean, yeah, but menopause symptoms?
I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe it's not like, your period not working or your system shutting down. Maybe it's constant hot flashes and stuff like that. I don't know. Are you in menopause?
Oh, yeah, I'm past menopause. I was in menopause at 30 years old.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count.
Because
Yours
I'm
was
a freak.
medically.
Yeah, I'm a freak.
Yours was a medical situation.
My body rejects anything feminine.
I'm just wondering if you have the same situation as most women in menopause because of yours is medical situation. Mom got her period back after how many years of not having it when she got
It was
COVID?
so it was close to 10 years. 10 years of
Yeah.
not having a period at all, and I suddenly, bam!
Ashley also got her period back after she got COVID.
After she got COVID. Yeah.
But she's only been not having a period for like 4 or 5 years.
But then I only did it like twice, and then it stopped again. So.
I don't know about hers. I don't know. Life at home is intense. There are daily fights, no privacy, no space to study or relax. My dad sleeps on the floor because there aren't enough beds. How many people's in your house? I'm not allowed to play games, talk to friends on the phone, or even use my computer freely. Is it your computer? That's bullshit. Everything must be turned off by 9 to 10 p.m.
Oh my
Are you
God.
12?
See, I'm not that strict.
No. They watch my screen, monitor everything, and after a stalker situation and finding out I had an American friend, oh, where you at? They doubled down on controlling me.
Yeah, I did not do that.
Were you an adult by this point?
I don't.
The most controlling my mom was to me when I became an adult was that I needed to inform her where I was going.
Yes. Oh, I also had to inform you where I was going because if I went out hiking by myself, you said I was going to die.
There was a chance you could die. You're not cautious.
That's why he made me get a hiking
No.
buddy.
I made you get a hiking buddy, and I made you tell me when you were leaving, where you were going,
And
how
when
long
I-
you were
When I
expected to be
intended to come
gone.
back,
And then I usually added like an hour onto the how long she's expected to be gone because she stands and takes pictures a lot.
I take a lot of pictures.
She takes a lot of pictures. So I usually add an extra hour on there, but I would text her around the first hour mark, text her and go, "You still alive? You doing good?" Just wondering if she got the text or not. If it went through, I knew she was okay. She didn't go fall into a cave and her phone's out of service kind of situation. Yeah, your grandma's crazy. Yeah, she is. Yeah. My mom has a condition where she gets seizures at night and when she's under stress. I'm the only one who stays calm enough to help because my dad panics and rocks her.
What?
Why are you touching her?
Why are they? Sounds like they all have mental issues.
My sister just cries and hugs her. Why are you touching her?
Yeah, because crying helps.
Especially if it's induced by stress. Why are you touching her?
Why are you rocking her? Why are you holding her and rocking her?
I mean, it would keep the...
No.
No, it just go
No,
down.
if they're having a seizure, roll them on their side so they don't gag.
I know, that's my point. Why are you touching her like that?
I used to deal with people that had seizures all the time. Someone had grandma seizures all the time in the jail.
Oh, grandma's seizures are horrible.
Oh, it was horrible. We had her, if she went upstairs, because the jail housing unit that she was in had an upstairs. Now her bunk was
This when
down.
you were in the jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her bunk was downstairs.
Needed context, just checking.
Sorry. Yes. I was working in the jail, not in jail.
Well, okay. I knew you were working in the jail. Sorry.
So she had grandma seizures, but she had gone upstairs one day and there was seemed to be no advance notice. You know, some people have like an advance notice if they're getting ready to have a seizure.
Why'd she go upstairs though?
It was an open pod, so she was probably visiting with someone or talking with someone, and she went to come down the stairs, and luckily there was a officer behind her because she went down like a sack of potatoes, and if he had not caught her, I mean, it's cement block stairs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we had to house her all the time because she would go into them and she'd be gone for like 30 minutes after her seizure quit. And but yeah, those are serious. But we would go in, roll her on her side, make sure that she didn't fall or hurt herself or whatever, and then we would house her in a segregated unit where she was right there with us until she came back to enough to function, because she was like a horrible drunk after, you know, she could not function at all. She couldn't get up, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. So yeah, they're serious, but you need to know how to handle it. She's been having these, I'm assuming, for quite some time.
Yeah. She said it's a condition, so
Yeah.
more than likely it's been most of her life.
So
For also context, on top of my mom working in a jail with someone that had grandma seizures, I also had a seizure, but I had to be watched like 24/7 for the next 2 years after that.
yeah, panic does nothing.
No. Like, we had to teach every member of our family how to help me out of said seizure if I had one. Thankfully, it never happened. But, like, even my cousins that were the same age as me had to learn how to stab myself. Stab me with something.
And friends at school.
Yeah.
And some teachers that were willing to do it.
Yeah, all my friends, all my really, really close friends that were with me, learned. Some teachers that were willing to do it?
Yeah, Miss P was willing to do it.
Well, of course she was.
Yeah, there were some teachers that learned how to do it so they knew what to do.
Yeah, there was also
And I
another
had to-
student that had them too. They were all trained in seizure
Yeah.
protocol.
But yeah, I went on every field trip just in case, or my mom went on every field trip.
Yeah. Which proceeded throughout my entire high school career. I wasn't allowed to go on a field trip by myself unless a family member was there, which kind of sucked.
What were you gonna do?
You said there was multiple field trips that no one was going on, and you said unless someone goes with me, I'm not allowed to go.
I thought you were complaining that you had to have a family.
Oh no! Do you know how many times Mammal's like walking around with Tyler at field trips, and I ran up to her because I found something cool. I didn't
I
care
was
that.
gonna say, you weren't a bad kid. You weren't a mischief.
No, I didn't
Mr.
care
Jacob.
that you guys were there. I cared that when I would ask about a field trip, it was instantly, oh, you have to have someone with you or you can't go. Like that was what it was.
Well, yeah, because I've been on these field trips before,
Oh yeah, they're stupid.
and
Teachers don't do shit.
yeah, these kids run wild in these areas. Like, what amusement park did I go to with you?
Amusement park? We went to a couple. Or no, you didn't go to Cedar Point with me.
Yeah. What
You
was-
went to Kings Island.
Okay, I'll go to Kings Island with the school trip. Now, I was given a heathen child
5.
and 4 other kids, including my daughter.
Yeah.
So the heathen child didn't want to listen, but I kept all of them together. If
You
one,
know they did that because no one else wanted her.
I know, because I was the asshole.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
And I made her mind. So supposedly she suffered from ADHD, and
She didn't.
She did not.
She didn't. She
She
was on
suffered
ADHD.
from-
She was on Adderall, but it made her worse.
She suffered from nobody's ever disciplined my ass
No.
problem.
We know.
Yeah, she was well behaved when she was with me.
She
Because
could
I
be
didn't.
well behaved, but she wasn't getting attention. She was an issue, but she was on Adderall as well, and you could tell the days that they forced her to take it.
Oh yeah, she was hyper as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was well behaved with me because I didn't put up with the crap. And I kept all of my kids together. If some of them wanted to ride a ride and others didn't want to ride that same ride, they had to be in my eye line at all times. So I made sure that my kids were safe. But on that trip, there was kids that were stuck on a ride for how long?
Oh, the drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I got dropped down.
And
like,
there was
crashed all
no
the time.
adult supervision anywhere near them.
No, because they were up in the air for like 2 hours.
Yes.
That's why
Now,
I
if
never got
something
on
had
that road.
happened to one of those kids,
No one would know.
no one would have known until it was time to check in at the end of the day.
Because they left. There was like a few kids went up on the ride, and then the rest of the group stayed down. And instead of like one adult, because every group had 2 adults.
Yeah.
Instead of one adult staying with those kids, both adults wanted to go ride rides, so they went with the other kids and left them up in the air.
Bullshit. So yeah,
With
that's
no-
also why I wanted to be at every freaking field trip, because I knew that they didn't care. They just
I didn't mind that you were
Walking.
on every field trip. My issue was that I was pretty much told that unless someone decided to go with me, I wasn't allowed to go.
so if there's any parents out there, you should figure out how they handle field trips.
Yeah. And if you're a parent present on said field trips, they're not going to act any differently. They're going to act just the same ways they're always going to. You just have to pay attention.
Yes.
But no, there was never supervision.
All right, let's go back to the original issue.
Um,
The weird ass parents.
so her sister just cries and hugs her. So yes, I know they depend on me emotionally, but the doctor said that it's a lifelong condition and not fatal. Hers or yours? I'm assuming hers.
I'm assuming her mom's.
Yeah, her mom's.
Yeah.
We tried to keep the peace at home, but nothing really works. The stress is constant. So I made a choice. I found a nice, quiet place nearby. I thought I was helping everyone because they would need to pay for my medical costs anymore. They won't need to pay for my medical costs anymore. My dad could take my bed, and my sister could use my room to study. I stayed close in case they needed me. Why is the dad not sleeping in the same room?
As the mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird in itself.
But when I told them, they cried, yelled, said I was a traitor and ungrateful. That if I really cared, I would have asked their permission first.
You're 24 years old. You don't have to ask permission.
No. I don't know where she went. What you doing?
I'm changing a butt.
Oh, I was gonna say there's wipes behind you.
All around, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Putting your daughter in that kind of stressful situation that her doctor is telling her she cannot live like this.
She's unhealthy, yeah.
Yes. You're not supposed to add more stress to your child's life. You're supposed to be a support.
We know
for
a
your
lot of
child.
people that are more stressed to their child than not, which is, I feel like that's just main character syndrome and not being raised right themselves.
That's why I have the best, right?
You got lucky and recognized that your childhood was fucking messed up. That if I really cared, I would have asked their permission first. They said I need to break the lease, or they'll never speak to me again, and will turn my whole extended family against me, including my elder grandparents who don't have much time left. Okay, so go to your grandparents first. Explain the situation. Say this is a health risk, and if they don't understand where you're coming from, they obviously don't need to be in your life. I know they're elderly and near the end of their lives, but if they're not willing to take your side in this matter, they shouldn't be there. Just saying. My opinion. Sound bad?
No, I agree with you.
Mom's also a very strong believer in cutting people off. So
Yes. I mean, my mom and I have had a lot of issues. Oh, laughs because she knows.
My
Yeah.
grandma's weird.
You know, I don't cut her off. I don't let her affect me,
Affect your life.
affect my life. I don't know. I've always had kind of the feeling, or kind of the idea that you have a choice in your life. We are all given a choice, millions of choices.
I feel like you should focus on yourself and your life
Right.
and not everyone else's life. If they
You-
want to be a part of it, they can make that decision.
You can continue to waller around in the mud with the pigs, or you could pick yourself up and clean yourself off. That is your choice in life.
By the way, my mom is Southern.
I'm not Southern.
You're kind of Southern.
I am not Southern.
You're kind of Southern.
I'm from West Virginia. That is
Yeah.
not
Do you
South.
know how many people consider West Virginia
That is not
South?
the South.
I know it's not, but like, do you know how many people that do consider it the South?
We seceded from Virginia because we were not going to be part of the South.
Oh my god, did I tell you? I'm sure I did. When I was on a plane with Max
Mm-hmm.
and we were heading to my hometown in West Virginia to visit, and someone was sitting next to us and asked us where we were going. And we told him,
Oh, really? What part of Virginia is that?
West Virginia. No, he didn't say that. He knew the difference. He goes, "Oh. Okay." And me, being the I know where he's about to go person I am, kept my mouth fucking shut. Because I had to sit by this man for another like 4 hours. And my boyfriend at the time goes, "Do you know anything about it?" Because this is the first time he's going there. He grew up in England. First time he would be visiting this place at this time. And he's like, "Well, do you know anything about it? Have you been there?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've been there." I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Talking to that person.
I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. I was so irritated. I knew where this was going. He goes, "You know, that's a very racist town." I'm like, it's really not.
It really is not.
It's really not. We just don't have a lot of
Diversity.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of diversity, but we're not racist. We're not. In the slightest.
We are more sexist than racist.
Yeah, we are very.
We are definitely sexist.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which is why I'm such an asshole.
But we're not racist. He was like, that whole state is racist. And I was like, it's really not. It really is not. There's so much worse. The southern part of it, maybe. Maybe, but not
That's just outsiders, period. They don't like outsiders, period, down in
the southern part.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what color or creed you are. They do not like outsiders. Because I used to go fishing all the time in Boone County. And
Boom.
Boone County. Trout fishing is great there. But but they did not appreciate outsiders.
Mm-mm.
And then I am very white.
I'm very white. You are. I'm also very white.
But yeah, they didn't, unless you were with somebody that was local. Yeah, you were watched very closely and possibly harassed.
Football games.
Football games. Oh, my
Those were
God.
fun.
Talk about rivalries.
Those were fun.
And it was rivalries out in the parking lot.
Yeah. I remember the last football game I went to, my cousin was a cripple at the time. And I made fun of him for it. But he was a cripple at the time. And on top of that, it was raining. It was muddy.
It was pissing the rain
cold.
down. It was nasty.
bad. And I'm pretty sure there was probably a brawl that happened in the parking lot.
Oh hell yeah. Hell
There
yeah.
was a couple of brawls on the field.
Yes, there were definitely brawls on the field, but yes, there were
I
fights
re-
in the parking lot.
I remember the our band instructor who clearly is not from these towns. Very clearly, it's
Ain't-
not from these
Ain't
towns.
from around there.
No. Goes, let's go say hi to the band. Let's go
Nope.
make friends. And we're like, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. And he goes, no, it'll be fine. And we go over there. And I'm like, I'm just gonna not be in firing range. Thank you very much. It was bad. It was bad. So much passive aggressive speaking from nerds. So much passive aggressive speaking
From nerds.
Nerds. These were band nerds. And they were like, yeah, okay.
But yeah, we're not racist. We're sexist, and these backwoods areas, they just don't like outsiders. I mean, you're talking about people that ran moonshine, very dope.
We have family members that do both of those things.
Yes, we do. But yeah, so when an outsider comes in, they don't trust them, not at all. It doesn't matter what color or creed you are.
No.
But we are definitely sexist. There is definite sexist shit going on.
The amount of it that I dealt with growing up was insane to think about. Like, I know it's common, very common, but you think it would have changed a little bit
No.
from you to me?
No.
It didn't. Which was hilarious because we just spent our entire time proving them wrong.
Yeah.
My best friend was a football player. And she was built like a fucking linebacker. And if her mom wasn't scared by it, I feel like she'd be a really good linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she'd still be a really good linebacker. So I feel like if Chase had actually taught her to be a linebacker, it would have gone bad for both parties.
Because Chase would have beat the shit out of her teaching her.
Yeah, Chase is
He's very aggressive.
hot-headed. He's so hot-headed. And then does not back down.
Yeah,
she would have
she's got
taken
an
it.
attitude like me.
Yeah, she would have taken it,
And gotten up, brushed herself off, and gone for it again.
and
she
it would have
probably-
gone to the point until she got seriously injured.
Yes. Well, Chase's problem was he's the youngest.
Duh.
And he was picked on by his brothers and his father. So he got the same attitude that I did, only mine was because I was female. His was because he was youngest.
Yeah, but then he also got the I'm untouchable because I'm the youngest from Grandma.
Yes.
Tyler got in trouble for everything, even if Chase was the one that started it.
Yeah, I was in trouble for everything too because I was the oldest and I should have known better.
Yeah, I don't get that whole point. If they start it, better hope someone else finishes it.
I mean, I was raised not to hit girls. My mom told me that I was not allowed to hit girls because I was raised like a boy, because girls were second class. So I was my daddy's only little boy.
I didn't hit girls, but that was because they refused to hit me first, because they knew that I would hit
My
harder.
mom said that I was not allowed to hit girls because I was stronger than they were, so it wasn't fair. So I got in fights with boys.
Those are good stories.
But I wasn't allowed to hit girls. And the only girl that I ever hit in my life was your aunt. And that was because she clocked me upside the head with a phone. Now, a actual rotary phone, the big old receiver.
My actual aunt?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yes. We were at home because it was my job to be in charge while they were out drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on the phone with her
Yeah.
boyfriend. And I told her to get
You
off
don't
the
have that
phone
right.
because we had to. There's no call waiting. There's no nothing. But we had to answer the phone anytime that our parents called from the bar or we got in trouble. So I told her to get off the phone. She refused to get off the phone. I hung up the phone. She clocked me upside the head with the phone.
You drooling on Grandma.
And so I chased her down and hit her in the back of the head. That's the only girl I've ever hit in my life. And I only hit her that once.
I feel like I've definitely hit girls. But I also played basketball,
That's different.
and
That's
it's
not
unavoidable.
hitting.
It's unavoidable, and sometimes they really deserve it. Like the girl that threw me into not the wall, the bleachers. Literally grabbed me and chucked me into the bleachers. That was fun. Um. And she says she stayed close in case they needed her.
Yeah.
So she's still thinking about them instead of her. But when I told them, they cried. I already read that. My bad. They said, now I'm second guessing everything. Was I wrong for acting fast and not involving them in the decision? Girl, you're abused. Was it cruel to do it without asking, even though it's my life, my money, and my health at risk? No.
No, absolutely not. Did I like that you moved out? No. Did I know that you were an adult and that was something that you needed to do? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm back.
Yeah, she's back. I made her visit me all the time.
I did. I made plans. I literally worked it out where I could visit often, and then I worked up there and I stayed with you for when I was working as well.
Yeah. I would never disown you. I got disowned when I moved out.
You were younger than me, I think.
I was the day after I turned 18.
Yeah, you were younger than me. I was 19 when I graduated. So it says, am I the asshole for renting an apartment without their input, even if it helps finally being able to breathe? And then she has an update on here.
Huh, what's the update?
For anyone who wants an update, I did it, but they came to my new apartment. Mom faked a seizure, so I let her in. They dragged me out of the apartment. Police was called.
Fuck.
They sent all of us to a psych evaluation, and the doctor sided with my parents, saying I'm emotional right now.
Oh my
God. And that I'm phone addicted, and I should talk to a priest and stay close to my. Where are you from?
What addicted?
Phone addicted.
Phone?
Phone addicted.
What the fuck is that?
Addicted to your phone. Like you spend too much time on your phone.
What the
And I should talk to a priest and stay close to my family. I'll update more as the situation progresses. I scheduled a second psych evaluation with a non-Christian professional now. Good. Now, so I can prove I'm sane and escape again. Thank you all for your help, and I'm going to stay strong.
So she gave up her apartment? She broke her lease?
No.
Okay.
She went to the apartment. Her mom came over.
I know,
faked
that's
the
what I'm
seizure.
saying. But now they're saying that she needs a psych eval and...
Yeah, so her parents dragged her out.
Right.
The police were called.
Right.
And apparently where she's from, they said that she was unwell and she needed to be with her family. And a Christian...
But I'm saying, so she's not living in her apartment at this point because...
No, they put her back in
Put
her
her back-
fucking house.
Jesus Christ.
Because she's unwell and needs to be with her family.
I'm unwell too.
Not the a-hole. You're not their emotional support human. You have parents and they aren't parenting. They're controlling and abusive. I would have moved further away.
Yes.
And if they are able to turn the extended family away, they weren't worth keeping.
No.
Agreed. Can I be your mom? You sound like you could use a real one.
We got a spare bed.
Yeah. We got a whole spare room. You can move to the States. I don't know where you're from. You can move to the States. Because of the stalker, I only have my partner left, no one else. The fact they are willing to abandon me hurts so much, and I feel like such a bad daughter for making them sad. You're not.
No.
Am I such a horrible daughter? Could I have done things differently to be more easy for them to understand? No. No, they clearly have issues.
Yeah, they clearly have terrible issues and they were not going to let you go ever. Ever. You're just gonna have to cut them off at this point, and then maybe they'll. I mean, I was cut off for 3 months. I wasn't allowed to talk to my sister, my mom, my dad. Nobody would talk to me. And then finally, my dad broke and came and talked to me. I mean, that's. But I had to break away from it.
We moved and got cut off.
Yeah, when we moved out here, we got cut off for a while.
Couple of months.
Mm-hmm. But they got over it.
Yeah. And now they talk every week with us. Granted, they talk every week with Mom, but that's because I'm really horrible at calling people.
Yes. It's because I make the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they make me mad or not. They're still my family.
I don't know. Certain parts of my family, not our family, my family, if they want to talk to me, they would. And if they don't want to talk to me, that's their own problem. Except me and Dylan, we're just both really horrible texters. At least to each other. We're horrible to talk to each other. It's funny. When he called me that other day, when he wasn't doing very well, he goes, "You're the person that I trust the most and I care about the most. And I'm so horrible at talking to you." I was like, same. We are so horrible at talking to each other. We'll text each other and it'll be like 5 days before one of us answers. We're really bad. We're really, really bad. But it's not for lack of trying. We do contact. It's just not well.
Yes. You have to put yourself first. If I was a horrible mother to you,
I'd tell you.
you'd tell me. We have that open, honest.
Yeah, and there's certain things that I do tell you that I have issues with.
Yeah.
Or I had issues with. And I tell you.
I was not a perfect mother by any means.
No. I think it's impossible to be a perfect mother. I don't know. I'll find out as he gets older.
Yeah, you'll fuck it up, dude.
I know. I'm sure. I felt like I fucked it up like last month when all he wanted to be around was his grandparents and hated both me and his dad.
Yeah,
bad.
they go through phases.
I know, but it was so bad. We could not get him to calm down at all.
Wait till I start taking him outside and doing fun things with him. He'll want to hang out with grandma all the time. Oh, I seen my lizard friend today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The one you found the other day?
I almost stepped on him. He was out there warming up. I know. Good thing I looked down at my feet.
Okay, so someone else, someone commented back to her and said that they don't want a daughter, they want a slave.
Yes.
And then OP, there was a little bit more to that comment, but OP responded, original poster.
Mhm.
What stuck to me the most was the fact that they said, instead of finding a place for myself, I should have used the money to move all of us to a bigger house.
What the fuck?
And I feel so egocentric for not doing so. Go live your fucking life. Obviously,
No.
Obviously, living with them is causing a very large issue for you. And it's not healthy for anyone that's in that house.
At this point, she's going to have so many issues having a normal relationship.
Yeah.
A normal relationship.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
I feel so bad because she just keeps messaging and she sounds so sad. And
Yeah. She thinks that she's been manipulated for 24 freaking years.
her sister's 19 and is treating her just as badly.
Cut them all off. Cut them all off. Go live by yourself. You do you for however long it takes you to heal. Get away from that. Yeah.
She said her sister, she's paying for, some of her money goes to her sister to pay for her stuff in school. And her sister contacted her crying that she is no longer going to be able to continue in that school because she doesn't have her sister's money. Get a job.
Yeah. Get a job. 19 years
job.
old. Get a job.
I got a job when I was 19.
Woo.
There's just a lot of comments on this one thread. These lines, it's one thread. Yeah. It just keeps going.
Hi.
I was seeing if OP posted any more updates.
They've probably got her locked in a cage at this point.
Yeah.
She's commenting, but she's pretty much saying the same information. This was also posted 1 day ago.
Yeah, she needs to get out of it.
Yeah. My God.
Tell her. Go.
You drooling on Grandma.
Of course.
Am I the asshole for my response to my ex-husband?
Oh, this ought to be good.
I thought you'd find this fun. My ex-husband, 34 male, and I, 34 female, divorced back in 2015. And it was finalized after my youngest was born around 2016 to 2017. To be clear, he is the father of both my boys, 12 male and 9 male. He denied paternity to my youngest child even after DNA tests showed he was the father. You can't deny when a DNA test says you are. Okay.
Not unless you got a twin brother.
That would still have some form of
Nope.
differentiation, wouldn't
Nope. Identical.
it? If you said twin, not identical.
Okay, identical twin brother.
Okay. He was emotionally, verbally, and financially abusive towards me throughout our marriage. After the divorce was finalized, his parental rights were terminated voluntarily due to chronic issues with homelessness and lack of treatment for his gambling slash alcohol addiction. Oh my God, why does this sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
And part of the court order that went with his termination of his rights was that we were not to contact each other. Post divorce, he had 2 other children, both boys, with another woman. He reached out to me a few days ago and texted the following.
Well, read it to me.
Rumple foreskin. It's what she's calling him.
Okay.
Hey, how are you, How are the boys? If they ever want to see their brothers, just let me know. I have them on my days off. Side note, yes, this is his contact in my phone. My response to him was that if my boys wanted to see their brothers, I would go through their mother. I have a relatively friendly relationship with her, and the boys have met twice. His response back to me was that I was rude and that my answer was uncalled for and that we had done nothing to deserve it.
Bullshit.
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 To be clear, our eldest is in therapy because of him and the trauma surrounded his dad's abuse of me. Since then, I've blocked his number, which I thought I had after we were done with court, but some people are saying that I should have just ignored him. No.
I disagree with the ignoring part. I think you need to draw that line because he would have continued to text or found another way to text
Yeah.
or shown up.
Yeah, because he's clearly trying to not reach out in a good way.
Yeah. All right. Screw him.
For context, my mom's been divorced twice.
Married and divorced twice. Engaged 4 times that I didn't make it down the aisle.
And yes, that's how she tells people. The first comment says, not the a-hole, but rather than blocking, maybe mute him. You want to document his attempts to contact you.
Yes. That would be a smart idea.
Also, if you two aren't supposed to be in contact, it's probably better to not respond at all. I hope he stays well clear of you and your boys from now on. I didn't even think about muting this Soapy.
Mhm.
I just went straight to blocking. Thank you for the advice, though this is the first real contact since parental rights were severed, but we'll definitely consider taking off the block and switching to mute.
Yeah, this you're talking 10 years later. 10 years later.
Yeah.
And if he actually wanted to, if he had cleaned up his life, because people do change, people do realize their mistakes, they do clean up their lives. But if that was the case, if he actually had cleaned up his life and wanted a relationship with his boys that he has severed contact with, it should have been done through a lawyer, through a child advocate, to approach her in that way, not him doing it.
Especially because his rights were terminated.
Right.
Right now he has no right to contact her or the children.
No.
And then it's just a thread. If it's a part of the court order that he's not supposed to contact you, you are able to at least report the exchange to your lawyer. And that was the question.
Mm-hmm.
I never had an attorney. I did this all on my own with guidance from my great uncle, who was a retired attorney.
She should reach out to the local police department, the precinct in which they got divorced and this court order was issued, and have it at least documented.
Yeah. I'm surprised she didn't change her contact information.
I mean, it's difficult when you change all your contact information, because it's not just douchebags that you used to be married to. It's also all of your friends list, all your...
That's why you contact them prior to changing your contact information. That's what most people do.
Not me.
You don't contact anyone.
Sometimes people contact me.
Yeah.
And you know my feeling about letting the children decide whether or not their parent is an asshole.
Well, I feel like the 12-year-old has an opinion already.
Oh, yeah. The 12-year-old obviously has.
And the youngest was born after the divorce.
Yeah, so he didn't even know his father.
Yeah.
Has never known his father. But it still all should have been done through proper channels.
Court.
Yes. To have him evaluated, to have him watched, to have him monitored.
He wants you to babysit.
Who wants?
He wants you to babysit.
Yeah, probably. He's gotta go out drinking. Let me send the boys over to you.
Wouldn't put it past him, to be completely honest. Who is this? That should have been your first response. To set the tone. Someone said not the a-hole. He's still trying to find ways to abuse you. He's trying through your boys. Don't allow it. Your children deserve better. Yeah. And she made the comment that she definitely made sure he was blocked this time. Yeah, Mom allowed me to choose, or didn't allow me to choose. I guess she would say. I went to my
When you got old enough, I allowed you to choose.
Yeah, I went to my dad's until I was old enough to choose. And from like what? 15?
14, 15?
14, 15, I stopped going as frequently. Mostly because I was doing stuff. I was busy. I was in school activities that they already established they didn't care to take me to.
Yep.
So there was no point in me going over there if I had school activities on the weekends.
Friends.
I had friends that had stuff going on. I prefer to go those. But every single time I mentioned not being able to go because of XYZ reason, the divorce agreement was brought up.
Oh yeah. And manipulation.
Well, we were going to do a special trip, but I guess you're gonna miss it.
I think that worked twice on me. I think that worked twice on me. And both times, guess what? We did nothing. We didn't even go out to eat dinner.
I'll make a bottle.
So it stopped working. Where'd Grandma go? Yeah, I think it worked twice on me. And then I stopped going because I see you. Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna grab him.
I got the baby. I got the baby.
You know, I think the manipulation tactic worked on me twice, and then I stopped believing it, right?
Hmm?
I said I think the manipulation tactic worked on me twice, and I
Yeah.
stopped believing it. Is it Grandma? Did she get it, brother?
Shiggy.
By when I was 17, I think,
Mm-hmm.
I stopped going almost entirely. The only time I went was when I got a text message either from my brothers or from my dad saying my brothers miss me. You want that bottle?
Mind control. Can you take the bottle from my hand? Can you?
Gotta reach for it. Gotta reach.
No, he's staring at it like he's gonna will it over there.
We don't have those abilities. We need to reach.
Don't let her tell you you don't have those abilities. You may have those abilities. Maybe everybody telling you you don't have those abilities is what stops you from having those abilities. Yeah.
Grandma's crazy.
Maybe we can fly too. Want to come over here and eat while mommy reads something else to me?
Am I the asshole for leaving dinner early because my boyfriend introduced me as the current. Sorry, my boyfriend's friend introduced me as the current one. That's been a trend. People have been saying that about their partners. That's all right?
Was it her boyfriend that introduced her like that? It was the
No, it was the
boyfriend's
friend. But no, the trend has actually been that the boyfriends have been saying that.
You know what? Whatever.
Apparently, I thought it was really funny. I should have saved
Don't
it.
be so sensitive.
No, so I should have saved it. Someone had seen that trend and looked at her husband and goes, "If you do that to me, I will throw punch you." Said it very clearly. Guess what he decided to do a few weeks later?
Get throw punched?
He got throw punched. I should have saved it. It was so funny because she literally, not even a split second, he goes current one and she goes smack right in the neck. And
Now, wife is different than girlfriend.
either way, that's still kind of, unless it's genuinely meant as a joke, it's a little weird.
I just would answer back with, we'll see how long that lasts.
Okay, this person has been dubbed not the a-hole. That means it's been up long enough that Reddit has decided. So my boyfriend, 31 male, invited me to a dinner with his old college group. One of his female friends, 30F, oh, was it the girl that said it?
Oh, that, yeah.
That's different.
Oh, you should have throat punched her.
Uh-huh. who I've never met before, came late, looked me up and down, and then said, "Oh, so you're the current one. Cute."
Yeah, she should have throat
Oh
punched
my
her.
god. Yeah, I would have punched her straight in the face. No, you know what should have been the reaction though? Not from her, from the boyfriend. It was either to defend her
Mhm.
or like kiss her in front of the girl just to
Solidify.
solidify it. I was stunned. No one laughed. No one corrected her. My boyfriend just kind of chuckled awkwardly and changed the subject. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I would have left him.
Yep. I sat there in silence for another 20 minutes before excusing myself and leaving. I took an Uber home. He called me
I would
later.
have taken his car home.
He probably had the keys.
I would have said, "Oh, I left something in the car."
Yeah, say, I gotta go to the bathroom. I think I left my stuff in the car. Your thing. Because I have like tampons and pads in our car. Just
Mhm.
sitting in our car. As backup, just in case. He called me later and said I embarrassed him by making it a thing. It was a thing.
Yeah.
And that I should have just been chill. I hate when people say that to me. I hate it. I hate when people say that to me. It angers me so much. That makes me more angry than maybe I was prior. Because she didn't mean anything by it.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. He wants me to apologize to her for walking out like a child. Am I the asshole for not tolerating that kind of
Absolutely not.
blatant disrespect?
Absolutely not. She should have grabbed his best friend, kissed him, and walked out with him.
Yeah. That would have been amazing and hilarious. And I feel like the best friend, if you're a real one, the best friend would have gone with it.
Oh yeah,
Would have been completely chill with it, had no issues.
absolutely.
So I don't know. None of my best friends have male best friends.
Well, they were at a frat party. You could have grabbed any of them.
It wasn't. They were at a dinner.
Well, for who?
It was just a group dinner that he invited her to, and it was some of his old college buddies.
It was his old college buddies, so probably frat buddies. Grab any
Except
one
that
of
was
them.
the girlfriend.
Grab any one.
I
of
know,
those
but you
guys.
mean my point.
They would have been. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They would have had no issue. Not the a-hole. 1, she was plain fucking rude. 2, he didn't say anything. 3, he was more concerned at his embarrassment than yours. 4, perfectly reasonable response. Yeah,
I would have gone with unreasonable response.
well, the punching could get her in trouble because she is an adult.
Yeah, but it would have felt good.
Agreed. I always have the comment, people,
I bet she wouldn't have made that comment to any other female ever again.
right? People make comments all the time that the reason they don't condone resulting to violence is because most of these people that are talking are full-on adults and can be charged
I'll take the
for
charge.
assault. See, my funny thing is that a lot of times in the situation where they're like, we don't condone violence, it's a girl maybe punching a boy. A boy will not attack you for assault charges.
No, they don't want to be embarrassed that they got assaulted by a female.
It is very rare that unless they're like, honestly, unless they're fruity, they're not going to say that they've been attacked by a female.
No. But I absolutely would have been fine with taking the assault charge. It would have been so worth it.
Fair.
It's only a misdemeanor.
That's fair. OP responded, exactly. It wasn't just the comment, it was the silence that followed. If he had even acknowledged how out of line that was, I probably wouldn't have stayed. I probably would have stayed. But instead, I was the only one who felt uncomfortable and ended up being blamed for reacting.
Yes. I would have gone further. She was absolutely correct.
Knowing myself, I would have made like some kind of snarky comment back. it probably would have involved something like, well, apparently you weren't good enough to be the current one. And then there's just a huge thread.
Yeah.
Someone responded, tell her, actually, I'm now one of the former ones. Check back later to see who the new current one is.
Probably your hoe bag ass that came alone.
Someone added on to it, said, actually, I am one of the current ones. Good news, you can have him now. Use your words like a grown-up and stop mooning over him in secret, unless you already know he doesn't want you. I love it. This is the kind of snarky I'm okay with. Because I have a child now, I don't want to be in trouble for causing issues like that.
I will absolutely choose violence.
That's fair, but your child's grown.
Yes,
Mine
child's
is not.
grown.
Yeah, no, that's the snarky I would bring. Here's another possibility. She was insulting him because he's a womanizer.
Oh, I'm sure he is a womanizer. But
I don't think she would say that. If she was doing that, I don't think she would have said it to the girlfriend.
she wouldn't have said that's cute.
Yeah,
She was
that
trying
definitely
to-
had an underlining meaning.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for snapping at my mom and said that I have no parents if she asked me to pay for the debt she owed people for my upbringing?
The debt her mom owes people for raising her child.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
gathering from this. So, Reddit has dubbed him not the asshole.
Yes. I'm the one that got pregnant. You became my responsibility when I became pregnant. Yeah.
And yours was an oopsies.
Yeah, definitely oopsies. Yeah, mommy was a big oopsie.
But grandma doesn't regret.
Yeah. I did not want to have children, and it doesn't matter. If you do the deed,
You pay the time.
you pay the time. And I like her now.
And she got you out of it.
And I got you out of it. Which I didn't like you either to begin with. It
That wasn't his fault.
was totally his fault.
No. No, it definitely wasn't his fault. It was definitely the hospital's fault. So 26 female, am the eldest daughter, and I only have one younger sister, 22 female. Let's set the scenario. Oh, fun. Our parents was divorced. Were divorced. Oh my god, your grammar's gonna hurt me. Our parents were divorced when I was in grade 6. Okay, so you're English, got it. I hope. Both kids stayed with mom. Dad still got visitation rights. Dad then moved to another island for work. Oh, where are you from? And never came to visit even once after I was in grade 7, so a year later. Work stuff, or that's what I thought, in quotation marks. So my young brain kind of understood. Mom struggled to provide for us by herself until I graduated high school. Dad didn't give any support financially or morally whatsoever. I moved to another country for uni because I got a scholarship. Yay. Sister was a bit upset because she had to stay back with mom and had no one to confide at home.
Confide in.
To at home now that I went away. I really, really don't like your typing. You're obviously not in school for English. God. Cut to me being in uni in another country. Oh, you're either not schooling for English or English is not your first language.
Yeah, it may not be her first language, and the translation might have gotten screwed.
Yeah. Dad started to contact me again out of nowhere, asked to meet. Mom, knowing that Dad decided to reappear in our lives, wanted Dad to pay her the total amount of child support that he owed her for bringing up me and my sister. Reason? Question mark. She was borrowing money from loan sharks. Oh my god, you stupid bitch. Perhaps it's the closest thing I could think of in English. Definitely not your first language, got it? For the kids. But she didn't want to talk with him directly. She asked me to relay a message between her and Dad. Dad said he had no money. And then it says parentheses. Well, he has his new family to take care of. And to be honest, my country's minimum wage sucks. Fair. Cut to last year. My mom remarried with a guy. Debts were still piling up. Guy said mom need to stop working if they're going to be married. Great, one of those people. Mom agreed, and therefore has no income to pay off the debts.
Well, maybe.
Sounds like it's his problem now.
Yeah. Maybe Mom should have had that discussion with new hubby that, hey, I've got debts. If you want me to quit my job, they're going to become your debts.
Yep. Not long after, I got my first job. Work environment is good. Sorry. Salary's good. Me and Sis have been very close, but Sis's relationship with Mom and Dad are both still strained. Shocker. Sis got into an accident and I offered to take care of her housing expenses and for her to rent a place near her campus so she doesn't have to commute that far. Hello, sir. Especially in the middle of the night. Meanwhile, Mom still pestered me about Dad, asking me to keep pushing him to pay for the debt because the deadline is approaching. Why didn't she, So she's saying that there's child support that exists. Why didn't she go to court for said child support? If that's a thing in your country, which I'm assuming it is.
I mean, obviously, he was ordered to pay child support if there is back child support to be paid.
I don't think there is.
That she just took out.
She took out money from a loan shark. She took out loans probably.
Yes.
From a shady person
Yes.
to pay for her child's upbringing. So he was never actually charged child support.
Which may or may not have been for actually raising the children. It could have been for anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
it's not
$180
child support.
tattoos.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is she's not being owed child support. He doesn't owe child support because apparently she never went at him for it.
Yeah.
Unlike Uncle Billy.
Yeah, so
Has he ever paid that, by the way?
probably not.
Yeah. No, I don't think child support was actually ever put into this situation.
So she just
She got
Didn't
loans
get a
that
job.
she can't pay.
she didn't get a job that paid for the children that she had. Yes, she should have taken him to court. I don't know if that was a thing wherever the hell she was from.
She
But-
said that the deadline for the debts is approaching.
Well, Mama, I guess I'd go underground because somebody's going to come collect.
Mm-hmm.
They like to break legs and shit.
Says, meanwhile, she also doesn't want to burden her new husband because it's not his debt.
Oh, he
It is
decided
when-
to marry her.
Yeah, it is when he married her and told her that she could only get married to him if he if she stopped working.
Yeah.
His debt now.
It is not your child's debt. Your debt does not become your child's debt because you don't want your new husband to pay for it. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay my debt.
No.
I got enough life insurance that you don't have to pay my debt after I'm gone.
No. If all your life insurance pays your debt and there's still more off of it, I'm gonna use it for my debt.
Of course.
Just saying.
Of course. That's why I have extra. I
You
mean,
know?
you should be receiving a house that you can either keep, rent, or sell.
Yeah.
You'll have my 401ks or whatever they are, my retirement shit. You'll have,
Do you have multiple of those?
yes.
Just curious.
Yes, I have not combined them yet. Sorry. You had to go hunting.
I'll have to go for all of them. Can you please write down at least in your trust which ones I need to go hunting for?
Yeah, I need to go get my trust done so that they're all at least documented that they
Yeah.
go to you. But yeah, all of my belongings, I don't care what you do with them.
I'll probably keep most of them.
My ashes will be yours.
Yeah. Do you want me to send any ashes home?
That's up to you.
It's your ashes. Do you want your family to have ashes?
My ass becomes your ass.
That's not helpful.
So...
By the way, my mom has been talking about her death since I was like 10. So this is a very normal conversation. If it sounds morbid, it's because it is.
Yeah, I already got my urn picked out. And then I just need to rig
You
it.
figured out the tape recorder thing yet?
No, I have not. I have to find somebody that knows technology that can do a motion detector that has voice recordings that you can put in through a thumb drive.
Probably ask Steven.
Yeah.
I'll have to do that.
You know it's got to be able to be done because they have those Halloween things that have motion
Oh,
detectors.
yeah, absolutely. It's got to
It's
be
just-
this.
Figuring out how to rig it to where you put in a thumb drive for it.
And where to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
My mom then complained about the debt to me and asking me on how she should pay the debt now that she doesn't have income.
I guess steal money from your husband.
Maybe good an income. I said, I don't know. It's not my responsibility to pay for my own upbringing. It's literally mom and dad's job as parents to provide. She said, well, then if you're going to take sis out of this house, you'll have to help with it because I can't afford renting another place for her. I said, fine, I'll support her housing. I don't mind. Okay, you already said you were going to do that.
Yeah.
But then she changed her mind and said that she'll stop supporting her financially altogether, even though tuition or transport fees. Not even tuition or transport fees. Okay, so she's paying for transport fees and tuition right now. With what money?
Yeah, what I was gonna say, was new husband paying that, or
Yeah, what money are you paying for?
did she take out more loans?
Probably. I was like, what the fuck? But okay. I mean, lucky me, I'm able to. So you're just gonna support your sister? I mean, I'm sure that your sister, sounding like a decent person, from
Yeah, we'll probably,
pay you back.
Yeah, get a part-time job and start helping to for now, and then
Well, she might not be able to now. She said she was in an accident.
oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe later though. Then mom softly and subtly asked to borrow money for me to pay for the debts. I snapped and said that once again, it's not my responsibility to pay for my own upbringing. Because if I end up paying for it, I basically have no parents because I technically have just been raising myself.
Yes.
True. Thing is, though, I help you pay for things when I can, or I did before now. But I didn't pay for things. I bought you things
Yes.
that I knew you would like,
Yes.
that you wouldn't buy yourself.
Right. Because
That was my way of paying, but that was because I like presents.
yes, and I pay bills and food
Now you do. I'm saying before.
No, I mean that comes first.
Oh,
Wants are last on the list.
yeah. So I like giving you once.
Yeah, so you give me wants. Because there's responsibilities with being a parent. Not taking out loans with loan sharks would be.
Loan sharks. If they're really loan sharks, like if they are literally the equivalent of loan sharks over there, I'm so concerned. Like,
Yeah, because
forget your mom paying off her debts. Be prepared for her not to be alive.
right. And what are you thinking when you have two children to take out loans with these people that can call it back at any time? And it's like not like they're not afraid to hurt you or
Yeah.
your children to get their money.
Yeah, if this is actually the equivalent of an actual loan shark, I would be prepared that your mom will not be here in like a month.
Most of the time, they do not kill the person that owes them money. They hurt them or harm someone close to them.
Which make sure your sister's out and they know nothing about her.
Yes. You may want to move somewhere else.
She's in a different country.
Oh yeah, I'd move your sister with you.
Yeah, I'd send your sister over to you. Go to a whole new school.
Yep.
Safer. They're less likely to send someone across the water.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've established she is not
No.
the awesome.
And then there's edit for additional context. No, I don't think what my dad did was okay. Because dad lived in a different country, made a new
Started
family.
a new family.
Yeah. And I haven't forgiven him since. He hurt our family, especially my sister and my mom, too much. Yes, I do think he should pay for the child support. Is it actually child support? That's what I want to know. I even told the both of them that I would take care of my sister's expenses, all of it, so the two of them could settle with a payment system or something that works for them without having to worry about any other things, which I ended up doing anyway. Dad has started to pay in installments to mom. So what the fuck is she complaining about?
Because narcissists, it's all about them.
But only a couple of times. Dad did say that he would rather pay for the support directly to me and my sister for what we actually need rather than to mom because, in quotation marks, he doesn't know what mom does with that money. Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Who knows what she took those loans out for?
Yeah. And it probably was not to do anything with her kids.
Probably not.
And I told him off and to settle the debt as soon as possible so they don't have to deal with each other again and live their happy lives away from each other. I understand the reasoning your dad has. And as far as I'm concerned, unless he actually does owe something that's legitimate, cut your mom off.
Yeah.
Her husband can deal with her debts.
Yep. Cut your mom off. Get your sister out of that country so you don't have to worry about her getting hurt to get mom's debt squared away. But, mom probably won't give two shits if her kid gets harmed.
No, probably not. Not from what this sounds like. I also told him that if he thinks that way, then pay whatever share he wants to give me to mom, because I'd rather the debt be settled first and foremost. Yes, I know mom sacrificed a lot for me and my sister, but I tried to also reason with her because I finally snapped. Basically, saying that I would ease the burden of paying for my sister so she could use that money that was supposed to go to her to pay for the debts, while I also try to figure out what's going on with my dad. And it says parentheses, as mentioned previously about the arrangement. So the installment.
Mm-hmm.
But she said it doesn't work that way. So I'm not sure what else to do. I have to do to help.
English.
Yeah. Yes, I do believe that she deserves to take a break and rest because she has been doing a lot for the three of us. But why did she decide to quit knowing that she wouldn't have any other way to get income to pay for her debt because she just wanted someone else to handle it?
Yeah.
And she doesn't want her new husband to pay. Sure, maybe it's because she expected dad to pay for it, but she didn't know that he would do that and how much would he be able to pay because they don't talk. Yes, I'm paying for my sister fully as of now, and I also live off my own finances since I went to college. Yeah. Dad's the asshole for leaving.
Mm-hmm. And
He,
not helping his kids.
yeah, he should.
I mean, he might have had a good reason to leave. I mean, obviously, mom is a little off. So he may have had good reason to leave, but he shouldn't have cut off his kids.
No, he shouldn't have left his kids about things.
And good on him for starting to pay that back at debt.
Yeah, but he
also cut them off and was an asshole for leaving. And then mom, God knows what she was spending that money on.
Yeah, and that's his whole point is he doesn't want to pay her because he doesn't know what she's spending that money on.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows you a little bit more about your mom that you probably didn't realize. That probably hints to why he left is because she's probably spending shit that she doesn't have.
Yeah.
You already know she has debts. She's probably spending stuff that she's not supposed to be instead of caring for people.
Yep.
She probably did that way before you guys were a thing. Or way before this whole situation with your dad leaving was a thing, at least. You fall asleep.
Yeah. Try to. Oh.
Not the hail. What it boils down to is that your mother needs to deal with your father directly and leave you out of it. Your father's the asshole for just abandoning you and waiting until you're an adult to come back into your life. And your mother is an asshole for trying to get you to do whatever she should be doing. Agreed. Probably Belly, since he hasn't burped. There's no comments though from OP. Yeah, you're not going to be leaving me with your debts. I'm going to try my gosh darn hardest not to leave my child with my debts. Might leave my husband with my debts, but my child, though. Same with my husband's trying to make sure that he doesn't have to leave our child or me with his debts. Next. Am I the asshole for leaving my child with family at an amusement park while I rode rides with my niece?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. Why would you think you're an asshole for going and riding rides with your niece?
Why would you think you're an asshole for asking your family to watch your child? Like, I don't think you should be leaving your child.
So you can go play.
Yeah, or like be gone the entire day.
Yeah.
But like, an hour or two to go and have fun yourself? No, I don't see an issue with that.
Not just have fun yourself. It's bonding time with your niece.
Yeah. I don't see an issue. Well, we'll see how this goes because they have not dubbed them anything yet. To set the scene. I love that they're setting scenes. I am a single parent and went on a family vacation. My brother and sister-in-law paid for amusement park tickets for the whole family. 9 of us. Damn.
Damn.
They decided to stay with mom, who volunteered to watch our kids. She volunteered. That's different. Yep, you're not the asshole. They're 5M and my 4M. Other sister-in-law and her niece, 6 female. Other sister-in-law and her daughter, I'm assuming? Not niece? I'm confused. Went off on rides as well. I went off with our niece, 13 female, to ride rides. We were on our own for the majority of the day and went back and met back up with, oh my god,
More English problems.
it says and met back with up with everyone at the end. While walking back to the car, I was making conversation and was curious if my sister-in-law got to ride any rides and if she enjoyed them, which she was able to. She's a very uptight person, and I was hoping she was able to relax. She started giving smart-ass comments, in parentheses, which I took as joking around. When I said I had fun riding, eating and hanging out with my niece, she said it must have been since we were taking care of your son all day.
I thought her mother.
I thought it was mom that was taking care of the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped dead in my tracks and asked if she was mad at me. She said she didn't like the way I was questioning her about riding rides and that she thought I was thinking she was being lazy and waste of a ticket. What? He's asking if you had fun. If you were able to ride rides and have fun.
Yeah.
I told her my bad, I was just being nosy, and that was not my intention. But if they had a problem with me going off on my own, they should have said something.
Mm-hmm.
They said they were anxious about leaving their son, and that they just wanted everyone to be together to make memories. So, sister-in-law didn't leave her child?
That's her choice.
Because she was anxious about leaving him. And instead of conveying to the family that they wanted to stick together and make memories, you let them go off and now you're mad?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I mean, easily could have probably texted and said, hey, feeling a little overwhelmed. Can we all hook up?
Uh-huh. And like, I'm glad someone went with that fucking 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Were you just gonna let her go off on her own?
Probably. Just like their stupid school trips.
Uh-huh. I told them they were the ones who organized the event and that they should have communicated their expectations to the whole group. Agreed. I also told sister-in-law that passive aggression is not okay and that if something bothers her, she should say it at the moment, not build up resentment and unleash a person at the end of the day. I also included that if mom was going to offer to watch my son so I can have fun, then I will not hesitate to take her up on it.
How old is
Yeah.
your son?
4. His
4?
son is 4. And sister-in-law's is 5.
Mm-hmm. So, need to ride on the kiddie rides. Mom, who volunteered to watch the kids, probably doesn't ride rides, kind of like me, would have taken those kids
To the kiddie rides.
to the kiddie rides.
Yeah.
Perfect setup.
That's what, when I went with, Ashley's side of the family
Mhm.
for Kings Island,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the grandparents took the little ones for rides for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then traded off with the parents, and we went to rides. Because I remember going and riding on the kiddie rides
Mhm.
with them. Because, unfortunately, my younger brother was really short, so he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
tall enough to ride the big rides, even though he was only a few years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
He was really short, so he didn't have the opportunity to ride the big rides. So he ended up doing a lot of kiddie rides while me and the other teenagers went and did other stuff.
Yeah. We need to take a whole family trip to an amusement park, no less, when
Yeah.
you have little ones. There's someone that needs to be with little ones.
Yeah.
There's only 2 little ones, right?
There's a 5, a 4, 6, and 13. And the 6 went off with another sister-in-law.
A 5,
So-
a 4, a 6, and a 13. So 4 kids.
Yeah.
Total. 2 kids staying with mom.
Yeah.
The other 2 went off with other family members.
Yes.
So yes, mom definitely should have been able to handle those two children and go on kiddie rides.
Yeah.
Didn't need sister-in-laws, or whoever the hell she was, help.
No, and she's the one that decided to stay.
Yes.
And like, also, this is your sister-in-law. Where is her husband?
Right. And if she had a problem with the way that things were being handled, she probably should have said something to her fucking husband.
Exactly. So it sounds like I'm assuming, from what I'm gathering, I could be very wrong. You could be, because you didn't say your age. You just said their ages. So it's you, and then you have two brothers, and they're married, and this is their wives that you're talking about. So the one sister-in-law, the one that's mad at him, is the mother of the 5 male, and it sounds like she's also the mother of the 6 female,
Okay.
because it says other sister-in-law and her niece. So that would probably be that one. And then it says our niece is 13F. So she's probably the other sister-in-law's
Right.
kid.
Right.
Is what I'm gathering from this. So all of you have children. Where are the partners in this situation? I know you're a single parent, but where are their partners in this situation?
And if you're gonna be mad at them.
Yeah.
They took off too.
Yeah. I don't know. That hurts my brain.
Listen, as a mom,
Mm-hmm.
and now a grandma.
Yeah.
But as a mom, what did I do when we went to the amusement park?
You went with me.
Mm-hmm. And what was I for her, you and your friends?
You'll.
Yes, I was the pack mule for her and her friends, so they didn't have to put their shit into
In
lockers and pay money to put their shit in lockers every single time they wanted to get on a ride. I had no problem allowing them to have all the fun that they wanted to have, even though they were scaring the shit out of me. But I was taking pictures to try to keep the memories for them and taking care of their stuff and making sure that they were safe. That is my job. I am the mom. She obviously had some kind of issue. I don't know if the kids were acting up. I don't know if she doesn't get along with said mother-in-law who volunteered to take care of these 2 kids, and she didn't trust mother-in-law to take care of these 2 kids.
Which, again, should have been discussed with
Should have
her
been discussed with
husband.
her husband. Fuck her. Throat punch her too.
Yeah. I'm a mom. My kid is very young, but I want to take him to places like that when he's old enough to remember them. So probably around 5 to 6
Mhm.
is the earliest I'll take him to those places. So he'll be on the kiddie rides. I will go on kiddie rides with him, but I will also ask mom to watch him for like an hour, maybe 2.
So you can go on the big
So
kid
I can
rides.
go on the big kid rides because I love amusement parks. My husband doesn't, so he might watch the kid. But
Yeah. And I would totally watch your kid all day long and go to kiddie rides with your kid so you could go to big kid rides.
yeah, but I'd
But
want
you'd have
to
to feed
also
me.
watch my kid do that.
But
Of course, I'd feed you.
You'd have to feed me.
I would feed you. I would say just use my cart. Have because you also have to feed him too.
Yeah, I gotta feed him too.
Yeah.
We're gonna pump up on all kinds of sugar and fried stuff.
I'm not surprised, and I'm also not really bothered. But I better get some sugar out of it too. Okay. I told them they were the ones who are. Did I say that already?
Mm.
I told them that they were the ones who organized the event and that they should have communicated their expectations to the whole group. I also told the sister-in-law that passive aggression is not okay. I did read this.
Mhm.
There have also there was other miscommunications or lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brother is the same way, but at least more open than she is. Honestly, this has rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't feel comfortable being alone with her because I don't want my words to misconstrued or be misunderstood.
Fuck her.
So it sounds so your brother and his wife are very uptight and anxious, is what I'm gathering. And instead of being communicative, they keep it to themselves and then get angry at you and yell at you later. Right?
Well, husband obviously is not that uptight that he went off on his own.
That doesn't say where he went, what he did, nothing.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. This is why in-laws suck. Although I got along with my in-laws. Half of them anyway.
Your in-law parents or in-law siblings?
In-law parents.
I was gonna say, did you ever really communicate with the siblings?
You mean your aunt's husband?
Are we talking about Aunt Becky? I meant husbands, because these are their siblings,
Mm-hmm.
partners.
Yeah. Remember they all came to visit?
Nope.
I also knew your dad's siblings.
At least the ones
Half
that
of them.
talked
Yeah.
that talk to each other.
Half of them. So yeah. I guess I'm not a very passive aggressive person.
No, you're just an aggressive person.
I am.
I'm a passive aggressive person, but I can be aggressive when it needs to happen.
I can be passive aggressive, but it hurts.
No, I like being passive aggressive because I like to be pointed passive aggressive. So it's very clear that I'm being passive aggressive.
Yeah, I'm a very sarcastic person, so I don't know if you'd call that passive aggressive or.
I mean, it can be. I'm pretty sure sarcasm is like the definition of passive aggressive.
Is it?
Probably.
Or is it a warning sign?
Maybe. TLDR. I know what that means, but I do not know how to explain it right now. Left my son with our mom, who offered while I enjoyed the park with our niece. Brother and sister-in-law stayed with her and ended up watching him a few times. She resented me the whole day and blew up at me later when I feel uncomfortable around her and then I hassle for going off on my own instead of sticking with the group. No one stuck with the group.
Mm-mm.
But it sounds like it. No one stuck with the group, and no one communicated that they would prefer to be as a group.
Yes.
Because, like, whose kid was a 13-year-old? You allowed them to go off on their own?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I think this is just all bullshit. Don't worry about what she thinks. She can kiss your ass.
ETA, Mom and all of us were messaging in the group chat about where we were at, updates, and sending fun pics. This is where I think communication should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am an asshole for not spending any time with my child. You are a little bit. You should definitely spend time
Yeah,
with
she
your child.
definitely should have.
But you were also having fun with your niece. I
Yeah.
have no issue with that.
It's not like he went off on his own and did his own thing and just ditched his kid.
Yeah, he was spending time with family. Like when I went with Dylan and Donna to the park, to the zoo, which also has a water park where we went. I went off and rode rides with Donna
Yes.
for a little while, and then I came back and I watched their daughter so they could go ride rides.
Right. I mean, that communication should have happened in that.
Yeah, that group
Yeah,
chat,
family
that should have
group
been
chat.
a lot more communication.
If they wanted to ride rides, if they felt they wanted to ride rides with their kid, maybe that 13 was their kid. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
If they wanted to ride rides with that kid, they should have said, hey, can you bring back said kid so we can go have fun with them?
Yeah, they could have done that.
Yeah.
And they chose not to. They chose not
I mean, if I ever liked riding rides, by the way, the only ride that I've ever ridden
was a one-on-one and you lost your sunglasses on it.
I lost my sunglasses and it beat the shit out of me.
I don't know what she's like. The only rides I'm gonna get on are the wooden ones because those are the easiest. I've never been on an easy wooden ride.
Well, I was definitely not getting flipped upside down.
But yeah, but like, I've never been on an easy wooden ride. Do you know the Beast? That's painful.
It was painful.
Painful.
My kidneys were not happy.
You didn't even get on the Beast. You got on something else.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was.
The
but
Beast
my
is
kidneys,
so painful.
My kidneys were not happy.
The son of the Beast got shut down because it actually killed people.
But yeah, had I been interested in riding rides, I'm sure you kids, one of you kids, would have been the pack mule to allow me to ride a ride.
Yeah.
Even though we were there for your entertainment.
Yeah. The only argument that happened was between us because I wanted to ride with someone and you wanted to ride with me.
Yeah. And we worked it out, didn't we?
Which I think you ended up riding with Jasmine.
I think so.
Which worked out probably better because she flings around a lot less than I do. She's able to center herself better than I do, so she probably was like a lot more stable on that
And
ride, and I
probably-
was like, bonk, bonk.
And probably afraid to crush me.
Yeah.
Probably afraid
Her
that I'd knock
youngest
her.
sister graduated last year,
Yeah.
or this recent year.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, you rode with her. That was the only argument we got into that day,
Yeah.
which is shocking, honestly.
And she probably tried not to touch me because she was probably afraid that I would retaliate with crushing.
She also loves you though, so it
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
like a huge concern. She does love you. She still loves you. I see her and she'll comment, talk about you. She loves you.
No.
We went, so for context, we went to the amusement park with my friends and one of mom's friends.
Friends.
I want to say friends, but you don't talk to people.
No, I don't.
You're close to the family and you trust them. And there's someone that you would trust me with,
Yes.
no issue.
Yes.
But yeah,
And we grew up together.
yeah,
So
you guys grew up together.
they know that I'm antisocial.
Yeah.
So
We convinced my best friend's mom to get on a ride. We did not tell her it went upside down.
yeah, no. I watched rides before. I don't trust you kids.
We're like, it was the Firehawk for anyone that knows what that is. We were like, oh, it's fine. It's so chill. They have you strapped in really well. And then as soon as we got on it, we were all like excited, ready for this. And it starts to lean back and she goes, what the fuck? She starts cussing. You can hear her from like a mile away, I swear. And then she's screaming at us because we convinced her it was a safe
Yeah,
ride.
I probably would have beat all of your asses after I got off of it.
She tried.
I would have turned you all over my knee like a little child and beat all your asses.
We ran from her. But no, we convinced her to get on the Firehawk. And as it was laying us down, because it puts you where you're facing the ground, as it was laying us down, she started cussing every word in the book. It was amazing. And then she screamed the entire time at us. She wasn't screaming in general, she was screaming at us. That was funny. But no, I don't think you're the asshole for going and having fun at your amusement park, at an amusement park with your family, and leaving your kid in the care of someone who offered to take him.
Yes.
I don't think you're the asshole. I would do that, but I also personally would have spent more time with my child
Yes.
instead of spending the entire day. Because I'm assuming entire day usually is like what, 5-6 hours, depending on what time you got there.
I mean, shit. Did they not eat? Did they not get together to
yeah,
have
did
lunch?
you not guys have like a big lunch? Because like when I went for like the family one with my side of the family, we got together in a big group for like a huge ass lunch, which there was a lot of us, so it was huge.
Yeah. And then you discuss then, hey, what's the plans when we...
Yeah, and we
Leave here.
split up and changed out who was going with the
Yeah.
younger kids, because there was like 4 or 5 younger children, so they needed supervision, very clearly supervision. We all had supervision, but They need someone to like hold their hands.
Yes. Make sure that they go go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
which I highly suggest even with your adult children.
Go make sure you go pee. Dude,
No.
I
No, make sure that they have somebody with them when they're going to pee.
oh yeah.
Because of the creepers that are in this world today.
Yeah. Did you go to a theme park with your son and then leave him all day long? Did you even check in on him during
Oh,
the
yeah, they
day?
had a group chat.
Yeah.
Douchebag, did you read it?
No. Apparently not. You're the asshole. If someone offers to look after your kid, it's a bit rude to leave them with them all day. Not really. If
It
they're
isn't.
offering to watch the child,
And
that's
that was-
exactly the opposite.
And that was their mom.
Yeah.
Right? That was the
It was
boys'
the grandma.
mom.
It was grandma.
It was the boys' mom.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she has the ability to use her voice with her children and say, "Hey, dickhead, come back and get your kid."
Yeah. I've met mother-in-laws that can do that.
Yes.
My mother-in-law would do that to me if it was necessary. Not that it's necessary, because I like spending time with my child, but like she would.
Yeah. I would have no qualms of telling you, "Hey, your kids drive me nuts. Come deal with them."
Yeah, you wouldn't have an issue saying that to my husband either.
No.
What I'd you think? What I'm assuming what did you think? Was going to happen when your mom needed to go to the toilet?
Take the kids
She'd
with
take the kids with you. Have you never taken a child to the toilet? Are you
No
not
shit.
a parent?
Apparently not.
Are you not a parent? I take my child to the toilet with me if my husband's not with me.
They stand in the stall while you're going.
Yeah. Eyeballs. Yeah, I take my child with me. But I also would go to like the family toilet. So you're not like hoisting a child in the stall. Unless it's one kid. That's one thing. But like my kid can't stand on his own. And I'd rather not try to hold him while I'm trying to wipe my ass. So I'd go into the family stall.
Most of the time you were in a carrier when we were out doing things like that, so. Or
It's easier to use the bathroom then. But my kid doesn't like carriers on me. He'll be in a carrier on his dad or his aunt. He will not be on a carrier with me. He does not like me wearing a carrier. Which is fine because it's really sweaty. So. Hi, eyeballs. Are you picking your nose?
yeah, he says he's gonna get it before Grandma gets her finger up there.
I did leave him all day and I checked in on the group chat.
See?
You checked in, but I still think you should have spent time with your kid. I think you're the asshole for your child, not regarding this situation with your sister-in-law. I think you're the asshole for not spending more time with your child.
Yes, he should have spent time with his child. I agree. But at the same time,
You're the asshole. Yes, your mother was okay to watch the two kids, but you should have gone back after a few hours. I guess you wouldn't be invited. I guess you won't be invited the next time. Your loss. Totally your fault. And also your kid's loss. So I don't think you're the asshole in the matter of what your sister-in-law is complaining about, but you are the asshole to your own child.
yeah.
Someone else said same thing. Slight, you're the a-hole, and also not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law should have communicated better. However, even if your mother offered to watch your child, you should have at least periodically checked on them, as in actually see them.
No.
You should have at least rode some rides, going off all day for your own pleasure was selfish. Being a parent is hard, and a single parent even harder. However, the moment you become a parent, you are one for life. It doesn't matter if your child's grown up, they will always need you in one way or another. And you're going off on your own for your own pleasure, that expense of others at the expense of others is thoughtless. My brain hurts. People need to learn how to type.
Again, he did not go off on his own.
No.
It wasn't like he was out partying it up by himself and do what he wanted. He took his niece
To have fun.
to have fun.
And from the sounds of it, you wouldn't have taken your child. Or sorry,
No, because you're too
they
uptight.
wouldn't have taken their child to go have fun.
No,
So you
they
had
would've-
to take her.
They would have been too uptight, sounds like.
Yeah.
No, you can't ride that right. No, you can't ride that right. No, you can't ride that right. So it might have been best for them to stay with the kiddie rides.
If you did that, I would have screamed at you. Full on screamed at you, throwing a full on temper tantrum as a teenager in front of all those people. Because when we went on this trip, I was 15.
I think.
I was 15. My friends were a little younger than me, but I would have fully blown a full on temper tantrum if you did that to me.
No, if you start kicking and screaming and shit, I probably would have beat your ass in front of everybody.
That's fair. But I also don't see why you would tell me not to ride rides.
No.
When I'm there to ride rides.
Right.
I don't know. That's a bit messy. I still would have chosen to spend more time with my child than you clearly did. Am I the asshole for not moving my girlfriend's mother in permanently?
Fuck no. God bless.
So I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for 5 years now. We've been living together going on 2 years. It's been nice. We had some time where we live with roommates and it was a pain, but now that we have our privacy, I love it. Hello. Hi, Kraken. This is something I've always wanted for years. Once you move out on your own, you understand and never want to go back. That's true.
Agreed.
I'm back. But for financial situation.
And
Not-
I'm trying to separate myself.
yeah, we have like 2 halves of the house pretty much. What's we're Mom wanted to read Reddit stories. So I went on the Am I the Asshole? So we're sitting and reading Reddit stories. And she's got the baby. For the past year, my girlfriend's mother has been battling a divorce. It was talk for years, but finally, not sure what straw broke the camel's back, considering they have been married for 25 to 30 years. Jeez. She went through with it, and it's been going on ever since. Since then, however, her mental issues have grown, which is understandable, but she's come from an old school Latina like background where therapy is not a priority and put on the back burner, and in the last 3 to 4 months she calls my girlfriend via FaceTime because we live in California and she lives in New York. That's a distance.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we were a distance for a while. Damn. And says things that are just not normal, and she's really letting this get to her and doesn't take the help that's offered to get back on her feet mentally. Spending some quality time. Yeah. I understand it's easier said than done, but you have to make an effort. I went through depression before, and it took me making the effort to want to change. Back to the story. I don't know. I don't have mental issues.
I have lots of mental issues.
None that are depression.
No.
I really can't relate to people with depression. I don't know. I've never
I
experienced
mean,
it.
I get depressed sometimes, and this seems like it maybe not depression.
I feel like
but
she
a
doesn't know what to
situational-
do.
Yeah, a situational being depressed about
I just
the
wanted to say
situation.
hi as I'm out. Take care. Okay, have fun.
Yeah, this is not. It doesn't seem like depression. It seems like you're depressed because of the situation.
Yeah.
No, I would not want my girlfriend's mother moving in that would become not only a
Permanent situation.
a privacy issue, they've obviously not lived near them. Who knows if he even knows her?
Probably not. Not
And-
well, at least.
Then bringing the drama of a divorce into your life
And it'll make you depressed, I feel like.
and the expense, because California is freaking expensive.
Yeah.
No, he's not the asshole. I can see assisting her in getting closer to them and being able to have that.
Yeah, like move her out there.
Yeah. But separate.
Yeah.
Just like we're trying to separate.
Yeah, like if it was a thing where you wanted to move her in for like a month or two and you guys get her an apartment and move her out to the apartment, that's one thing.
Or get her a little tiny house to put behind your place.
Yeah, depending on how you live. I told my mom that I would have like a building for her at the end of my property.
Where all my snakes and lizards can hang out.
Yeah, but it's mostly that would be the equivalent of an in-law suite, but it'd be their separate building.
Right. I would love to have a separate building, but I
It's-
bought what I bought.
Yeah, not a big property.
Not a big property at all.
You'd have to take out the whole of what you have currently for it to work.
Yeah, I'd have to chop it all down and then rebuild further away.
Yeah.
And then I'm still not going to get that far away. I'm
No.
going to be like 5 steps away from the house.
Yeah, and then we'll lose more backyard kind of space.
Yeah.
Though there would be a more
It would be a shaded area.
closed-in area
Yeah.
that we want for Ridian.
If you want to do that expense?
Not really. Though it could work. So my girlfriend said it's looking like it's final and she's gonna come into some money soon, but not a ton, and she wants to come to California, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
What's asked after though, I definitely raises concerns. My girlfriend tells me California is expensive,
Yes.
so she probably can't live on her own, which as a native of the state is definitely true. So she then asks, can my mother move in with us? I'm very puzzled by the question, and I don't mind her living with us temporarily, but when I ask for how long, she states, well, permanently. No.
No.
We could probably buy a house together or rent a 2-bedroom apartment and live in it. No. That's going to be a strain on so much of your life,
Absolutely.
especially if she's not working, because it sounds like she's not going to be working.
No, it sounds like she's just getting a settlement, probably part of their retirement or alimony.
Yeah.
So, no, unless you're planning on buying a house that, again, has a separated
Space.
living space. No, and no, and no.
It's like the comment with my mom. We discussed this the other day. She wants us to have separated spaces because she wants us to be able to live our lives. She doesn't want to know what's going on. Imagine most houses with 2 bedrooms, the bedrooms are right next to each other.
Right. And ours was.
Yeah.
And that's, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what you're saying to each other. I don't want to hear you canoodling. I don't want to. No. I don't even like seeing you guys touch.
And
But-
yeah, she doesn't like when we like hug or kiss. I was thrown off and definitely on the fence. I love her mother. Oh, so you do know her. But I have no desire to live with her. Temporarily to help her get a new start, 1000%. But to live with her permanently, even when we eventually get married and have kids, hell no. She's shown 0 signs that she wants to help herself mentally, so I don't think I'm obligated to live with her mother forever. It sounds like living in misery. I know how people get when their mental isn't when their mental isn't 100%. I hate your wording right now. And that's just another problem on top of it. For other contexts, I believe she's 61 or 62.
Oh, so
Not
then we're gonna have
exactly elderly
age-related.
age, but by definition, doesn't need any type of caretaking.
Yet.
She doesn't right now.
I said yet.
Yeah, I know. So am I the asshole for not wanting to live with her mother forever? No,
No, absolutely not.
not at all.
And
I
it would
not.
be it would also be very different if not only was she elderly and they were married,
Yeah,
not girlfriend, married,
yeah.
but still. I mean, if what have I told you? If I lose my mental faculties, take me out in the woods.
Let you touch a bear.
Yep, let me fight with a bear.
Yeah.
We'll see who wins.
I'll take you back home to do that though.
I do not want to be that bird.
I'll just buy you a plane ticket and send you home and let you find your way.
What if I get lost at the airport?
Oh, I'll let you get to the plane. To the plane. I'll help you get to the plane. But I'm not. If I leave you to your own devices after that, whatever happens, it's your fault.
Okay.
But I also would make you go poke a bear before you completely lose it. So
Give me a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have to go find me.
more like gotta give the bear a fighting chance. I feel like if you fully lost it, they'd have no chance. I wouldn't find you. I'd send one of your nephews to go find you.
Go find me.
Yeah. I'd
So you
say,
can put me in
well,
the
I
urn.
sent her on a plane. She said she wanted to go live in the woods, so I sent her home. Because there's no woods out here.
No, there is no woods out. Well,
Maybe you
there's
should go
up
find
in
her.
the mountains.
Not really.
Up north, there's woods.
Not really. The woods here aren't real.
No, they're not very far.
They're
Well,
fabricated. I swear they're
Once you get to the
plastic.
bottom of the hill, they're gone.
You know what I watched the other day?
What?
The Lorax. Everything here is plastic. I guarantee it.
Go ahead and touch that cactus. See if it's plastic.
No, I don't think you're the asshole.
Absolutely not. I would have a serious talk with a girlfriend and say, if one, temporary, or if you do buy a house with a property big enough to have a separate living quarters, completely separate living quarters,
Yeah.
like its own little kitchen, its own little, everything. So
A full-on in-law suite.
yeah,
A,
Like I'm
a
trying to build.
basement apartment.
What? I think you need to move over just a little bit. Poke it in the eye.
The first comment says, not the a-hole. Also, a giant no effing way in hell for me. Also, if your girlfriend says, okay, we'll just do it temporarily, don't believe it.
No.
She'd move in and temporarily would become permanent right under your nose.
Yes.
And OP responded, this is also what I feared. It happened to my father, except he moved in his girlfriend's whole family with her mother. What?
Whole family?
He moved his girlfriend's whole family with her mother. Father and siblings who were all pushing 30 plus.
No.
Sleeping in the living room.
No.
It was a mess to see as a child when I came over. That's why I have some level of PTSD to this idea. So his dad's girlfriend moved her entire family in with them.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
No.
Hell no. No, you're not the asshole.
You know what's funny? That's his in-laws, but like in that thought process, I don't even try to push my in-laws around my mom. Because you guys are separate people. I feel like you can get along sometimes, but like being around
For
each
sure.
other all the time.
Short.
He's playing with his toys, I swear.
Mm-hmm. He is playing with his toy. And when I walk over there, he smiles.
I know, he does that to me all the time. He just wants attention.
You're just yelling at your toys, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, he's telling them off, Grandma, because they're getting in his face.
You want to come up here and watch with us? Or do you want to play down there?
No, I wouldn't do that. But I don't even like. I would like to be able to go out to dinner with all of you at one point, but I also don't want to do that.
You're afraid to say something, don't you?
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm sweet as pie.
I feel like though certain things yeah, there's like that clip right there, you can pull it that way. Certain things it wouldn't be a big deal because you guys do have similar views in certain ways. But there's also things that
Are completely fucking different.
yeah. Especially if we went out to eat with like my husband's parents, his brother,
Oh, his
and
brother
grandparents.
didn't
That would not go well.
even- I already scared his brother to death, so.
When did you do that?
When I was yelling at Nick.
Oh. Did you really? Did he say that?
You told me that.
Oh. Oh, I think he didn't know what was going on. I don't know if you full on scared him though. Is that Grandma? Watch his legs if you're putting that on. He likes to try to trap his leg underneath the middle part.
Well, that would be just silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't feel like that interaction would be well. Especially living together. Like my husband does not enjoy that we live with my mother. And I don't blame him. Because that's not. Oh, this post has been deleted.
What was it for? Not offering to help my mom instead of waiting for her to ask me for help.
Damn. I don't know if they got dubbed the asshole. And that's why it was deleted.
Am I the asshole for tearing a family apart over money? I mean, I guess it depends on how you tore people apart.
Right? Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. My girlfriend's father had a business which was started by his great grandfather back in the 50s and passed through to different members of his family. His father eventually ended up being sole owner after buying out the others. The last person he bought out was his brother, to whom he paid about $20,000 back in the early 80s. This business did not generate much money, so he left it to become a grocery store manager while renting out the commercial property. So, your girlfriend's father quit the business after buying everyone out?
Sounds like it.
When he passed, he left the property to his wife, my girlfriend's mother. She's the mother. Has been receiving rent about $2,800 a month, but it's barely enough to cover taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. In most years, she takes home around $5,000. She wants to sell it for about $350,000 and use the money to travel and see family, then move into a retirement community. She's not rich and is basically living off Social Security and measly rent income. My girlfriend asked my opinion since I'm experienced with land and properties, so I told her I thought that the asking price was too low for a commercial property, sitting on an acre of land and in the middle of town. She said that's what it's worth according to the property tax. Apparently, though, the entire history of the property, the family has been using the tax assessment to determine the price. The price of buying in and out of the business. I told her the tax assessment and the property value are two different things.
But her father probably did not understand that.
No, that's the point. Is like all their taxes over the whole year, past couple of, like, probably the entirety of it being existent, are wrong.
Yeah.
Their taxes are not only wrong, but that also means they've been losing out on a lot of money.
Yes.
Oh, that's bad. As soon as I read tax assessment as the value, I was like, oh shit. So I sent my appraiser out and he came back with an appraisal of about 1.2 million. Oh, I think I know what the tearing the part family happened.
Yeah, now they're want money back that they should have
Gotten by having the property originally.
Yes.
Parts of the property. Because it sounds like a partnership between everyone that got passed to.
Yeah.
They were shocked and didn't think that was an accurate price until they started getting offers after it was listed. After some bidding, they came to an agreement with a buyer for almost 1.5 million. The closing is next week. When their family found out, things exploded. Everyone who's still alive thought they got ripped off for the past payouts, some dating back to the 60s. They want their fair share of selling price, but that's almost impossible because we're talking about a dozen people with some owning half of the business at some point. Now the family, her mother was wanting to visit or threatened to sue. It's been stressful on my girlfriend and she's taking it out on me. Last night she told me that things might have been better if I didn't bring up the appraisal since all it did was tear her family apart. She should have thought about that before agreeing to their appraisal.
Yes.
That's horrible. It's also not your fault. You were trying to help.
Absolutely not his fault.
No. You didn't tear the family apart. You exposed the cracks that were already there with a flashlight made of truth and a $1 million reality check. The past buyouts were their own agreements. You just made sure her mom didn't get swindled like everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have, whether it was family or not, they should have looked into how much the property was worth if they were going to sell a portion of their property.
Next one says, I mean, did they get swindled? The price during the 80s is very different than now.
Yes.
It's been, around 40 years?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the last time that they got bought out, from the sounds of it, was at least 10 years ago. Which prices are completely different even 10 years ago. So the last person that got bought out by her dad was years ago. So
are they willing to help pay the taxes to what that she's had to pay up until this point?
Bring that up. And and they should also, if they do sue, she should talk to a lawyer and say, well, this isn't my knowing. I was just informed by someone that knows more about land recently that this is the situation and I can't do anything about it. and that they all agreed to the price that they had been bought out for.
Yes. And, like I said, they were paying for maintenance, upkeep, and all that crap. So you would have to take out, if they're wanting a share of this $1.5 million, they'd also have to take out all the upkeep and shit that they had to pay during those years. Because the property values, of course, have gone up extremely high lately.
Yeah. No, not the a-hole. There's no updates, and he hasn't commented on it anymore. Definitely not the a-hole.
No.
And you didn't tear the family apart. They tear themselves apart over greed.
Yes. Greedy bastards.
Yeah.
And to push family away like that.
It has been, yeah, over 40 years.
Yeah.
Since the last payout. The dad bought out the last partner
Mm-hmm.
for $220,000 in the 80s. That price difference probably was completely different anyway.
Yes.
That probably was what the property was worth. Or at least that portion of the property, because obviously it was his property at some point. And it says that he's been buying them out for years. All the partners out for years. So he probably had a small portion and he was just buying for their small portion.
Right.
Yeah, no. Not the a-hole. Your girlfriend's the a-hole for her reaction. Her family's the a-hole for their behavior.
Absolutely.
And your girlfriend's mother should consult a lawyer.
Very quickly.
Yes. Before they decide to sue. It should be discussed. Because that's fucked up. They actually should have no claim to it either. Because it's been over 40 years
Yeah,
since
it's
the
been
last
over
one was
40
been bought out.
freaking years. And like I said, they've been paying maintenance and everything else. Upkeep.
Calculate that. Figure out how much the upkeep and the maintenance was. For how long, along with the years of the change of pricing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Times the amount of years she's had it.
Yep.
Am I the a-hole for not being polite, according to my grandma? I thought you'd find this one fun. I only read the titles, by the way. I know nothing about
You
what's
know
in
nothing
the
about what's the
contents.
content?
Yeah, I only read the titles, and I was like, oh, this might be fun. I, 14 female, am raised in a household that says, if you're full, don't eat. My mother, 52 female, grew up in a pretty old school house who don't agree with her and believe that if you're somehow somewhere outside, you should always eat everything given to you, even if you throw up.
Yeah, bullshit.
What? Is that a thing?
There are some people that believe that there's starving children in the world. Must eat everything that's on your plate.
I mean, that was a manipulation tactic used on us as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not from your side of the family, but it was used from us from kids. But like, Mama cooks all the time, and she's never once tried to force us to eat.
No. She usually just gives table scraps to the dogs.
Yeah.
If she doesn't save it for
Or she eats.
leftovers.
And most of the time, she saves it for leftovers, which is really good. Leftovers are great. Is that your grandma?
I think he's trying to poop.
Probably. I've been waiting for more poop to come out.
The poopy.
A few weeks ago, I ate with my mom, sister, 22 female, and uncle, 50 male, at my grandmother's, 76 female. My grandmother serves a lot of food, which I ended up mostly eating. My mother lets me eat, then go in her living room. Okay.
Mhm.
My grandmother then told me, G, come up and eat dessert with us. There's A watermelon, you'll love it. I told her I wasn't hungry, but she kept insisting. I said, Meemaw, I'm not hungry anymore. Maybe next time. She kept insisting and insisting. I answered the same thing over and over again. My grandmother got fed up and said, you just don't want to admit that you're way into your phone to the point of you not wanting to spend time with us, your family. I told her that I ate a lot and I am full. My mother then stepped in and told her her beliefs. My grandmother answered with, well, I think it's rude of her to not want to make me happy and just a sign she doesn't even love me enough. What the hell?
We jump right from being rude to not loving me. Sounds like some men I've been married to.
Oh my god. My grandpa, 76 male, stepped in as well and told her to calm down. Go, grandpa.
Yeah.
An hour later, she kept rambling to my sister, who's on her side, kind of, and my uncle about how eating food, even when you're not hungry, is just human decency. No, it's not.
No.
No, it is not.
No, it might be a thing with certain cultures that you must eat everything that is handed to you. Apparently, in the Latino community, if you finish your plate, that means you want more, so they give you another plate, and you're supposed to eat it all. Yeah, so don't.
So you just keep eating?
Yeah, and unless you leave food on your plate, if you don't eat the entire plate full of food, they don't give you more.
I'm also a person that doesn't like wasted food,
Right, you don't want to waste food.
so I don't
How
leave food on my plate. even
The
if
only
I'm
thing that
dying.
I can agree with, as far as grandma's concerned, is coming back to the table. You can sit at the
Yeah.
table and not eat and not be on your phone and spend time with your family.
We do that all the time.
Yeah.
And half the time we sit and talk for so long, we end up getting hungry again.
Yeah. So, no, don't be force feeding people. I never understood that you must eat everything off of your plate. One, if you do not like what you're eating,
You're not gonna eat it.
you're not gonna eat it.
My only rule for myself and like when my child's older is that you try everything once.
Yeah, you must try everything.
But I'm not gonna like serve him something he absolutely despises, even though I know he despised it because I cooked it. No, I'll eat it. If I like it, I'll eat it. Or God, his dad will eat it.
Yeah, I think
And I'll make something he wants.
that's absolute shit.
Options.
And if you wanted them to eat watermelon, if they like watermelon, do they even like watermelon? Or is this something that they haven't liked before a long time and you just happen to have watermelon that you're trying to force feed them? So,
I don't like watermelon.
if you had dessert, because we don't always have dessert.
No, we very rarely have dessert unless we're at Mammals.
So, if you knew that you had dessert,
Why did you stuff him full of food?
yes, say, hey, don't fill up your plate. We do have dessert. We have this dessert. Well, so you can decide whether or not you want to save room for dessert.
But also, we both have the same mentality that dessert takes up a whole different place in your belly, and we can
That's
always
right.
have room
There's
for
always
dessert.
room for dessert.
Doesn't matter how full you are.
If I have to wait like 10 minutes, there's always room for dessert.
Yeah. I genuinely feel guilty because I know that I tend to think of myself too much, and that could lead to me being rude. You should have just gone and sat with them, honestly.
Yes.
I genuinely think that it's nothing bad, but I didn't want to eat because if I ate, I know damn well I would be having stomachache for days. Fair. So Reddit, am I the asshole? And it says edit. My grandpa cooks because my grandma can't for medical reasons, and he was very okay with me not eating dessert. That's also very different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never had a grandma that forced me to eat. Had parents that tried to force me to eat. I have not had a grandma that tried to force me to eat.
My grandma didn't try to force me to eat.
Your grandma was a lot more old-fashioned too.
Yeah.
Or was.
Yeah, she never forced us to eat. She'd make a whole lot of food.
Yeah, I don't remember ever being forced to eat while we were down there either. And she'd always offer us a bunch of it to know that
offer
we
to
could
take it
definitely
home.
get more if we wanted it.
and she would offer us to take it home for leftovers. We didn't have to eat it all right there.
Yeah. Leftovers are great.
So yeah,
I had Olive Garden the other day, brought leftovers home, and I was so hungry. I ate them that night, and I felt mad at myself.
Yeah.
Edit to the edit. My mom and her siblings usually talk political and money and stuff, so I'm usually told by my family to go in the living room with my cousins. 12 female, 12 male, 10 male, and 16 male. I don't use my phone that much, but they just happen to not be here on that day. So you were the only cousin that wasn't an adult that was present.
mm-hmm.
You were the only child that wasn't an adult that was present. Does that make sense? Grandkid? Whatever?
He spit, Mom.
I know. He does. He's been doing that. Did you burp him or anything?
Mm-hmm. But he's trying to poop.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You think that's funny? Grandma thinks that's funny too.
Not the a-hole. I bet if you did over indulge, she would be the type to body shame you for your weight.
Yep.
She does, actually. Was the comment. I don't think I've ever been body shamed. That's a lie. I've been body shamed. I don't think I've been body shamed by family. Especially not my grandmother, who is significantly higher weight of me than I am. I don't know. I don't think I have. Why do you body shame people? What's that about?
If they started, I'll go back at them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, why'd they start? Everyone should say not the asshole. And this was posted yesterday. So,
Yeah, not the asshole. Or the asshole for not going back and joining in the conversation.
yeah, if she probably wanted you to go back to talk more than eat.
Yeah.
And you could have gone back and talked. Especially if you were the only person.
That was sitting alone in a room,
Yeah.
not communicating
It's
with
one
family.
thing if the rest of the cousins were there, but you said they weren't. So it's a little different. Would I be the asshole for yelling at my mom for humiliating me over brain surgery?
Okay, that just all kinds of humiliating you over brain surgery.
Yeah. Reddit has dubbed them not the asshole. I, 18 female, snapped at my mother today after she made a comment about what happened when my brain was swollen for context around 2020-ish. When I was 14, I had a sinus infection go to my brain after my sinus filled up. I was sick for around 2 weeks and begged my mom to take me to the ER. She would tell me that if I went, I would need to get shots in my butt. I wasn't scared of needles, however. I was majorly self-conscious, as every teenager is. So I would go home and use remedies like the
Yeah.
neti pot and vapor spray. It got to the point where I couldn't hold anything in. Eventually, she took me to the hospital while I was out of it. Like blank stares and not responding. And they told my mom I was dehydrated and wasn't taking my meds properly and sent me out. I peed my pants on the way out, and after cleaning me up, I had seizure-like activity, as the doctor called it, and mom took me to a different ER, which sent me to a bigger hospital. After a couple months, I got out of the hospital and am now doing fine. Besides, mind mild migraines, but the doctor said that if I waited for another day, I would be dead or brain dead, and my life would be over.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Now my mom talks about this, but bends the truth. She says I was just acting depressed, that I never asked to go to the hospital, and make sure to tell them that I wet myself in public. Your mom's a bitch.
Yeah, your mom's a cunt.
This would happen many, many times. And this recent time she mentioned it, I finally said something about her refusing to take me to the doctor in the first place, despite me being clearly physically unwell. I would also mention the fact that she admitted she knew I had a sinus infection to the doctors. After the people she was talking to left, she snapped at me, saying that I don't understand how hard the ordeal was for her and that I make her sound like a horrible parent. You are.
You are a horrible parent.
You are a horrible parent.
At the very least, you could have taken your kid to quick care
Yeah, at
And
least
had-
to get checkup and make sure she's okay.
and get antibiotics for your sinus infection.
Yeah. I leave it to you, Reddit. Was I a ignorant brat when I brought up what I did, or was my anger justified as it made me feel embarrassed every time she talked about it?
And it. First of all, who is bringing this up? Is she bringing this
She's
up?
bringing this up to people, to other people.
Mother.
Yeah, mother is bringing it up to other people.
So the mother is trying to humiliate the daughter. Yep, trying. And probably because she feels guilty because she's a shitty ass mother. Or to get sympathy
Because she's shitty.
because she's shitty. Or trying to say she's perfect mom and oh my god, my child didn't tell me that she was sick. And, oh, poor me. I had to go through brain surgery with my child.
It hurts me.
Yeah, cunt. You had to stay in the hospital for what, a week?
For what?
For when you had your seizures.
I was only there for a weekend, wasn't I?
I think it was longer than that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just a weekend, like 3 days.
But
I
in
had
no
the
way.
seizure on Friday.
Yeah, in no way did I think it was your fault.
No one knew what it was.
No one knew what it was.
Still don't know what it was.
Not great.
Edit. Thank you for all the support. I was raised by her, so she kind of knows how to control me in sorts. I really appreciate all the kind words and validation. Edit 2. If anyone needs proof / wants to see some weird / cool scars, I put them in the subreddit. There's a link. Hold on. I must look.
Excuse you. What? Yeah.
Yes, I'm 18.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah, that's definite brain surgery. Oh, your foot.
Probably had to put an IV in.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, ouch. Foot surgery was the second one to remove the metal that nerves decided to grow on top, around. Not at the same time.
Hmm.
So there was metal in your foot?
Well, did the metal get in there and mom not want to take you to the doctor then either?
It
No.
says it was to remove metal that nerves decided to grow around.
Yeah, how did the metal get in there?
That's ouch. If she lies about you in front of other people, you have the right to correct the lie in front of those people, not the a-hole. If she doesn't want you to correct her, then she should stop lying.
Yeah, just stop. Yeah, she can shut her mouth.
Yeah.
Why is she bringing it up? Because I'm sure his hair is grown back by now.
Depending on when it was, at least. Not the a-hole. She was a horrible parent. Truth hurts. Sorry. Not just was a horrible parent. The mom tries to make her child look bad in front of other people and tells them OP wet herself. She's absolutely is a horrible parent. Yeah. She's a horrible parent. That's a shitty ass parent.
It would be funny if the child was not sick, was not having issues where they almost had brain damage, and they just wet themselves as a, 14-year-old, 15-year-old?
I went myself as a 14-year-old.
I'd make fun of you once in a while, usually to your boyfriend,
For what?
for wetting yourself.
I wasn't at your house when I went
No,
myself.
I know. I'm saying,
Oh,
if there was
I did.
no medical issues and
No.
nothing happening, and you just fucking wet yourself.
I wet myself because I was told I wasn't allowed to use the downstairs bathroom.
Yeah, that's
so
different.
at 2 a.m., where I'm usually woken up, jolted awake, needing to pee my pants kind of situation, I tried to walk up the stairs in the middle of the night and peed my pants.
Yeah, if you had done it with no medical issues, no mental issues, nothing going on, and at 14 years old you wet yourself out in public, then I'd make fun of you.
It's fair. But you're also cruel.
I know. And you were an ugly baby.
Now that's the whole thing. That she apparently had to explain to her coworkers the other day.
Yeah.
Am I the a-hole because I am forcing my parents to choose between two options they loathe? Sit. Reddit has dubbed them not the a-hole.
Forcing my parents to choose between two options they loathe.
Yep. I, 38 female, have recently gotten a not great medical diagnosis and prognosis. What are the difference between those things?
Diagnosis would be the disease. Prognosis, I think, is where they actually have an idea what they can do about it or how it's going to progress.
Okay. I am at peace with it. So I have sat down with my husband and figured out my will. Obviously, he will be receiving most of the estate. He has to take care of himself and our kids. He and I both have decent, if not spectacular, careers, and he likes his work. My oldest brother is a gigantic D-bag. He is an addict, and my parents have wasted their lives trying to help him. They spent They've spent so much of their time and money on him. They had very little
English.
They had done very little for my sister and myself. I didn't hold this against them. I love my kids, and I can understand the urge to help them with their problems. Fair. The real issue is that my brother has abandoned my nieces and my parents. I tried to get custody of them, but I am not a member of their church, and my parents cut me off when I left home to get a college education instead of staying home and helping them like a good daughter should. Their congregation helped them hire a lawyer to keep the girls away from me. But strangely enough, after the girls were out of my reach, they stopped getting any financial support. So she doesn't have financial support? She's not giving them financial support anymore? Or the girls are not getting financial support? I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too.
So on my will, I am leaving my niece's money. Okay, I'm assuming the girls don't get financial support anymore.
Okay. From
I don't know. It says, but strangely enough, after the girls were out of my reach, they stopped getting any financial support. So I'm assuming the girls don't have financial support.
from who?
I'm assuming from her. She was probably trying to help her nieces out.
That belonged to her D-bag brother?
Yeah. Who wasn't taking care of them.
Okay.
I don't know though. So on my will, I am leaving my nieces money. Not for them to spend however they want. It is only to go to pay for their post-secondary education. If it isn't used for that by the time they are 25, it will be donated to charity that my parents hate. Love it. It advocates for women and reproduction rights. I sent my parents a copy of my will so they knew what was coming. They are the kind of people who would take out a loan counting on money from my death to bail them out. They are calling me an asshole for not giving them the money to take care of my nieces. They are complaining because they are going into debt taking care of the girls. I offered again to take custody with my husband. If I can have them for 2 years, I know I can get them on a path away from that church. My parents won't relent, sorry, and are saying that they will challenge my will if I leave it like this. Good luck, my lawyer is confident, and I have protected the money. I just heard from my brother. He is calling me an a-hole for depriving his kids of help and forcing my parents into a shitty situation. I asked him when the last time he sent them money to help with his kids was. He yelled obscenities and hung up. My husband supports my decision, but a lot of my family is calling me and asking me to help my parents with no strings attached. No.
Nuh-uh.
There's an edit. Thanks for your kind words. I love and trust my husband and his love for our children. We do, however, have education and savings accounts set aside for them that are only available to them when they are of age. We decided that before we got married.
Okay. First of all, I don't know what the hell this church is that they're keeping these children away from apparently a stable family life.
Well, it's not. They found a lawyer to help them win the battle.
Yeah.
And the church is mad at her for it.
Like, I don't know what it is about the church.
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, sounds like a cult. It's Church of Scientology or something. But
I mean, it could be the LDS church. Those are bad. Amish. Even Amish are bad
yeah,
in their own way.
so first of all, you were wanting to take money from her, but she's not good enough to be a part of your family, to help raise your family. But you want to take money from her.
Yep.
That seems a little like bullshit to me.
Yep.
The father not being financially responsible for his children, being a drug addict and a worthless human being, it sounds like, does not make it her responsibility, but was willing to take on that responsibility, but not just give them money to do whatever the hell they please, because probably the parents were going to give that money partially to the douchebag brother to further his habit and not take care of those kids properly. And absolutely, I mean, I'm not for higher education per se, technical school, or later on down the road, like I told you, if I ever won the lottery, I would set up accounts for everybody in the family, and that would be a work requirement to get the extra cash that would be in the account.
Yeah.
So you'd have to work 40 hours a week, and I don't give a shit what kind of job you do for 40 hours a week. I don't care if you're shoveling shit or sitting and
Would that work for
Answering-
me too?
yeah,
Just curious.
and answering the phone. But you're gonna work 40 hours a week at something. I don't care if it's volunteering at the animal shelter.
I work 40 hours a week. I work more than 40 hours a week.
but there would be a work requirement in place for
Yeah,
that.
because you don't want lazy people.
I don't want lazy people because lazy people tend to get themselves in trouble, do bad things because they're bored. They're bored with their life.
I'm not. I'm trying.
I can completely understand her. I don't. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? I ain't gonna take that shit. Oh, see, they all went away now. Oh. All gone.
Someone staring at your hand, Grandma.
All gone. So yeah, I can see her putting the money into just for education because apparently she thinks that it's important to get a higher education.
Well, that's because her family tried to force her out of getting a higher education, which is something she wanted to do.
But yes, I completely understand. And it is her money. It is her fucking money. She can do with it what she wants.
Yep.
She is taking care of her own family. Her husband is taking care of the family. She can do what she wants with her money. It is not owed to the family in any way, shape, or form.
First comment says, "Not the a-hole. I am sorry to hear about your health, but you're doing the right thing by your nieces. May I ask 2 questions? My judgment will stand no matter what you answer. What church do your parents go to? Because that sounds extreme. Does the will stipulate college? Can they use it for trade school or other educational purposes? Thank you. It is a fundamentalist Christian church in the South. No, I don't think the university is for everyone. The money can be used to pay for any post-secondary education at an accredited institution. They can even use it for living expenses while they are in school. My husband has agreed to distribute the money to them. Disperse the money to them. Someone commented on that, not the a-hole. I would make sure that the accredited requirements exclude religious universities, regional accredited is more stringent than national, oddly enough. I have no idea what half those words were. And then people just went on to the thread about talking about how horrible Christian colleges are. This entire thread is all about how horrible Christian colleges are. I don't know, I've never been to one. And it's all about religion, all the responses. This was 3 years ago, though, so not sure how it turned out. Hopefully, okay. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I didn't have a child, they did, and they need to take care of her, not me? No.
No. Are you the child or you're another sibling?
She told her parents, or they told their parents, that they didn't have a child. The parents did, so they need to take care of her. And not her. My parents had me 15 female when they were 18 and 19. They always made it so obvious they resented being parents so young, and added to that, they never tried to be good parents. I typically spent most of my time with at my friends' houses. I don't have extended family to rely on. They disowned my parents for having me so young, so friends' houses were a positive in my life that made me feel more comfortable than being at home with my parents. My parents never did the typical parent stuff, like helping with homework or showing up to support me at school. I don't think they ever attended a parent conference for me. They ignored a lot of stuff I needed to get signed, and I'd have to get right in their face on the last day to get signatures. My birthday and Christmas have never been a big deal or celebration. They do celebrate their wedding anniversary, but that's a them thing. When they told me 2 years ago that they were expecting a baby, it really surprised me, but then it hurt because sometimes they said stuff that made me feel like I don't exist.
If you need butt change.
Ugh. So far, not the a-hole.
Mm-mm.
Especially now that they've decided to have a second kid.
Mm-hmm.
That are they going to care for at all from the sounds of like it?
Are you pausing?
Say what?
You got your earbud.
Oh no, my ear. Having that in for so long kind of hurts and makes my ear itch. Okay. When they told me 2 years ago that they were expecting a baby, it really surprised me, but then it hurt because sometimes they said stuff that made me feel like I didn't exist. Like how they were so excited to have a baby and how they couldn't wait to be parents. A friend of my mom's did remind her of me, but then she and dad said I was basically the too early practice run and this was the real deal. Jackasses. When my sister was born, they were so attentive to her that I ceased to exist completely. I got sick and my school was trying to call someone to pick me up early, but they ignored the calls, and when I got home, they had taken the baby out for a family day. When they got home, they didn't even realize the school called because they turned off their phones to enjoy family time.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom quit her job a month after my sister was born. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and she and dad want at least one more kid. My dad leaves work early on Fridays so he can spend more time with the family, mom and sister. My parents tried to have another kid for over a year. My mom isn't pregnant yet, so they're jumping to fertility treatments. They told me I need to watch my sister for a few hours every week while they attend those appointments, and they gave me this detailed list of stuff she needs and what I'm going to do with her. I told them I won't, and that they had her, so they need to take care of her because she's not my kid. My parents told me it's a few hours a week and not a huge deal. Dad told me I need to look at it as paying back all they did for me. I said no and told them they don't give a crap about me, so why would I want to help them? I feel bad for your sister. Because how long are they going to care for your sister? Is it up until the next one's here? I feel bad for you, obviously, but like I do feel bad for your sister as well.
Me, maybe there was one of those parents that just like babies. And
That's what I
so
mean.
she was
Is
no
are they
longer
not
a
going to
baby.
care
They didn't give.
after the next one's born?
I have. Gosh, your shirt is tight around his arms.
Oh. I just put him in there today.
I know he's a drool bucket. He's got it all the way down to here.
I know. We figured we'd test out the clothes that are listed as 0 to 3 months because some of them still fit him. That's what we're doing.
Well, that one's really tight around his.
Yeah, but it fit everywhere else.
So yeah, I've met parents that had lots of babies because having babies brought people around and got them attention, and babies were cute. But as soon as they weren't babies anymore, they didn't want anything to do with it.
Dude, I am so excited for when he's able to up and move around and play with us more. I'm so excited because I think he'll have so much fun. So I'm not looking forward to the 2-year-old no phase, which is currently what Logan's in.
Yeah.
But he's favorite parent. Did I tell you that?
No.
He's favorite parent. It's awesome. It's the best thing ever. I'm so happy.
Now you know what's going to happen if you start acting up with grandma. Yeah.
Not the a-hole neglecting to pick you up when you are sick and calling your life a practice run is such a horrible thing to get from your parents, and I'm sorry they have neglected you. OP responded, "It is because I'm used to it. It is, but I'm used to it." They were showing all that without words for years. Though the practice run part is funny to me because what practice did they get? I can't say they ever really did much any parenting, so it's just like, what are you talking about? They didn't make the most of their practice run for people who see me that way. Obviously. They didn't learn that it's not a practice run.
Yeah.
Everyone's just saying not the a-hole. They're also saying if they want someone to watch the kid, they should hire a babysitter. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents to forget it after they asked me to reconsider plans because of my sister again?
The same girl.
No, it's different. This Reddit has dubbed them not the a-hole. Says my parents have me 16 male and my sister 15 female. When we were younger, things were okay, but then when she was 7, she got bullied by a kid in her class. The bullying didn't last long, but afterwards she changed. She struggled with her self-esteem, and she still feels bad about herself and hates herself, and it made our parents really go into protective mode. They let her choose where we get takeout for a month afterward, and they canceled what we had talked about for my birthday party and instead decided we all needed a family vacation instead. But she got to pick the location even though we went on my birthday. I didn't have fun. My parents knew I wouldn't like it. They told me she needed this and we needed to pick her up. They told me I could spend time with friends another day and do something small with them. That never happened, even though I asked. She was still in a bad place after a few months, and then my dad went no contact with his mom, grandmother, because she decided she was going to leave all her grandkids something but my sister. The only granddaughter wasn't included, and she said some nasty stuff about boys being more special to her in front of my sister, which did a real fucked up thing to my sister. But it made my parents really go crazy on that. Let's make sure sister gets put first always. It was more of the same where she got to make decisions for us all. I didn't get the chance to do it ever. And the few times I would make plans with friends, but my sister wanted me around, my parents would ask me to put her first and cancel the plans. A couple times I said no, but my parents made me cancel anyway. It keeps getting worse, too, and still happens. A few months ago, I told them that stuff was pushing me away because I felt less important and less cared for by them. I also told them I felt like my sister got to make too many decisions for me. I told them I was ready to just move away and get away from them, and it hurt, but it felt like my sister's family instead of mine. They said they were sorry. They told me they'd do better. They'd get my sister a better therapist to help her so we could all move on. I had plans to go to a Halloween party with my friends next week. My sister had plans with friends, but after a panic attack, they canceled on her and mocked her about the panic attack. She asked our parents if we could go away the same weekend and spend time as a family. So my parents asked me to cancel plans and go, and they tried to apologize, but I said forget it. To forget making it up to me because I don't believe them and I'm done. I'll do what they want and I'll suck it up and for 2 more years. And I'll walk away because I'm done. I'm so done. I wouldn't hear my parents out and they got frustrated with me. Am I the a-hole?
No, absolutely not. Couple things about that. I think I can relate to the female. I was raised in a family that thought females were second class. Just like the grandmothers seem to think that females were second class and not as important. And not as precious. I had the same thing out of a grandfather. But instead of letting it turn me into a whiny little bitch that had to have my way all the time, I turned into a grubby bitch, and I just show everybody I was 10 times better than every guy.
Yeah.
And nobody accommodated me.
She was 7 when she was supposedly
Yeah,
bullied.
get the fuck over it.
She should be able to learn and cope with herself by what they did of making everything about her afterwards.
They just encouraged her to be a victim all the time.
Yeah, and she doesn't know any other way. So she thinks if something bad happens to her, she gets whatever she wants and can do whatever she wants.
And it's probably not even anything bad happening to her most of the time. It's just that she's used to getting her way, and she will get her way. And if she doesn't, she will make up something to get her way. She will constantly be the victim. It's never her fault, and everyone has to accommodate her.
Yeah, and she doesn't know how to cope with that. She may not feel like she may not be doing it out of malice. Thinking, well, if this happens, she can get her way. She may be thinking that she doesn't know how to handle the fact that she's not loved by everyone. And so she's like, oh, well, me, because I'm not loved by everyone, because she doesn't know any other way, because
they babied her. That she'll.
So when someone disagrees with her or says something to her that she doesn't like, she's like, well, why would you say that to me? And not understood. She generally might not fucking understand. because they've been doing this since she was 7.
Yeah, the parents are obviously failing this girl.
Yeah.
She's going to have a very harsh reality when she reaches adulthood and is going to be playing the victim all the time. Oh my gosh, they want me to come to work on time. They expect me to be at work on time.
I was bullied as a child. I was bullied up until middle school because they realized they couldn't get to me anymore.
Yeah, you just learn to turn it off.
And I was a bitch. I was, for the longest time, everyone thought I was cruel and mean because I just did not care what they said to me. Because their opinions didn't matter to me. It shouldn't matter to anyone.
No. Before I give a shit about what you think about me, I have to give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do the easy way. What came on you? Okay, so the first comment says, not the a-hole. Your parents are failing both, you and your sister. In 2 years, you will be gone and they will be trying to figure out why OP never calls and never comes home. And OP responded, yep, and I know it will only make her feel worse too, because she's leaned on me a lot in the 3 to 4 years, and she's so used to being able to ask for me, and I'm presented to her. But that won't happen in 2 years' time. And if she has no friends, it's going to make her fall apart more. I refuse to blame for refuse to be blamed for it, though. I didn't cause any of this. Our parents needed to do way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have. It's one thing at the beginning to want to make her feel special, but not at the expense of your birthday, which is where this all began.
Not at the expense of her future.
No, but I'm saying like making her feel special because she was bullied. Go out for a day trip.
Yeah.
Have some fun. Show that, like, take her out for like go shopping for clothes. A lot of times when you're young like that and someone's bullied you for your looks and stuff, just going out and letting them pick out clothes that they truly want and are excited about makes things better. And all you have to do is pretty much tell them, you like these clothes, these are important to you, that's all that matters. But the fact that they didn't do that and just let her have like a family vacation and took away your birthday, that hindered both of you. That started your resent towards your sister, which isn't entirely her fault.
No, it's not her fault. It is their fault. They're not teaching her coping skills.
Nope.
And she's going to be.
And she's supposedly going to a therapist. How decent is this? How is she going to a therapist?
Therapist is just like all these therapists that are going around now.
Whatever you feel is okay.
Which is not true. It's not true. You need to teach them to want to be better themselves and not just, oh, this happened to you, well, go buy yourself a present and that's better.
Yeah,
that makes you feel better.
Being a victim.
I don't know, that bothers me. As a kid that got put second place a lot, or not even second place, I was last, third place, never thought of. As that kid, I feel for this person. And it sucks. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my parents for treating me more like a second mother than their daughter?
Excuse you.
Reddit has dubbed them not the a-hole. I am 23 female, the oldest of 3 siblings. My parents divorced when I was 6 and both of them moved on. My mom remarried had 2 kids, then divorced again. My dad has a daughter with his current girlfriend. We're a big mixed family and we actually all get along pretty well. I love my siblings and I help with them a lot, especially when we have family gatherings, but lately it feels like I'm expected to do everything. My parents only really talk to me when they want something. Now I'm 3 months pregnant with my fiance and 2 week old. And 2 weeks ago, we had a family gathering. Like usual, I ended up watching all the kids. I didn't mind much until after dinner. I sat down with a brownie sundae when my little sister, one of my mom's kids, asked for a bite. I gave her some, but then she kept asking for more, and I ended up giving her most of it. My fiance said, "Okay, now leave your big sister some." And my dad responded with something like, "You should realize an older sister is like a second mother, and that won't change even when she has kids of her own." What? Were you ever a parent? Is what I'm gathering here. I know it's not your kid, but like, were you ever a parent? That hurt a little. I had really wanted that dessert, but I gave it up for my sister anyway. And hearing my dad basically say that I'll always be expected to take care of everyone even when I have my own baby just hurts. My fiance tried to brush it off and went to see if there was some left, but my parents got defensive and started listing all the things an older sister should be expected to do. I snapped and told them they've never really treated me like a daughter, just someone who's expected to help out all the time. I immediately regretted it and apologized, but my mom grabbed my sister and didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. My dad didn't say anything, but now he barely responds to my text. I'm worried I messed up my relationship with my parents and siblings. Did I overreact, or how do I fix this? That's not an overreaction. Not at all. I don't feel like it's an overreaction. You should be taking care of your kid. You're a fucking kid. It's one thing to help out here and there, but her helping out all the time and being expected to help out all the time, and then them literally saying, "Well, just because you're becoming a mom doesn't mean you're not supposed to take care of the other kids." That's a little weird. What?
I don't know. I'd really want to hear the other side of this
That's fair.
because, um,
This posted months ago, though, so I
Yeah.
don't know if we'd find that.
she might be being oversensitive
It's possible.
because she said it was a family gathering, so it's not like she's there all the fucking time.
No, but her dad literally said you should realize an older sister
They
is
are,
like
they
a
are.
second mother.
They are looked at as a second mother by the younger siblings. They're older, they have more knowledge, they have more experience. Yes, they are looked at as another mother.
But they shouldn't
Usually-
be treated to take care of the child all the time.
Usually the oldest one is the extra hand in whatever's going on.
Which shouldn't always be the
It's
normal.
not, and that's probably not always the case. It said it was a freaking family gathering, so they're not together all the time.
Yeah, because they don't get it together all the time.
Yeah.
But she's
So-
also an adult that's engaged and having a kid of her own. So getting together all the time is probably not normal.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't expect her to take care of my child at every gathering.
No. But she was just asking for a fucking brownie. Now, granted, the pregnant girl probably shouldn't have given the whole damn brownie to the younger sibling. If she wanted it, she'd give her a small bite and then send her on her way. But
I think it was more of the issue with the response after the fiance said, "Okay, leave some for your big sister now," and the kid had no issue. It was the dad that was, "Well, you have to know that you're just a second mom. You're expected to be a second mom."
And was it done in a sarcastic way like I
I don't know.
Yeah,
Either
I mean,
way, you shouldn't say that to your child.
Yes, you can fucking say that to your child.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So we definitely disagree about this one. I want
Yes.
more context.
I don't have an issue with having more context, but from what we have context wise, it sounds like her parents expect her to handle things when it's their kids.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. I am really comforting. It is really comforting to know that I'm not overreacting. I felt like a second parent for so long, and I'm definitely going to have to set boundaries, especially with my baby on the way. I just hope my parents can understand and adjust because I love my siblings and don't want to hurt them. Thanks again. I really needed it. I mean, I feel like her reaction was probably not entirely called for in the moment, but again, she's pregnant, so that happens. But it was like pretty much dropped, and then they decided to continue listing every single thing that she's expected to do. That's my issue. Is they decide instead of just dropping it there, because no one said anything after that. The fiance went to see if he could find another dessert for her, and they didn't say anything else. And then her parents decided to list every single piece of item, things that she should be doing and are expected to do because she's the older sister.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that list is too.
I don't know. But if it's even if it's one thing on the list is watch the kids because we're at a family gathering and we shouldn't be expected to watch our kids. That's something
Right.
that's
Like
not
I said,
okay.
I'd like to more.
I get that you want more context, but you need to understand that even
Yeah, I can't decide whether you're an asshole or not.
yeah, even with this context, knowing this, there is something going on.
Yeah,
and clearly you need to put more boundaries up with your parents.
I can't decide whether they're an asshole or not. They might just be a sensitive Sally. Did you get funny?
Even a mother wouldn't necessarily give up most of a dessert just because a kid wanted it, assuming the kid had their own food. Do you often give up your food or other opportunities to your siblings? It's going to be hard for you to set a new normal because it appears you're pretty strongly conditioned, and also because it appears your parents won't hesitate to make you feel bad for it. Yeah, that was my issue, was just their reaction, mostly. Honestly, yeah, I do end up giving up a lot for my siblings, food included. It just sometimes I've gotten used to it because it's always been like that. It's going to be tough to break the habit, but I guess I have to start somewhere. Yeah. But the parents could have also said, okay, you can stop asking her for food. Go get your own food. Because from the sounds of it, these kids are old enough to ask for food, so they're old enough to know they can go find their own, or ask someone to take them to find their own. I don't know. I don't ask people for food. I don't like that idea. Don't ask people for food. If you're asking them to show you where food is or asking if they have more food of that type, that's one thing. Asking them for their food, no. I like food. I don't like sharing.
I stab people with forks when they go across my plate.
See, that's my point though. Is I would have had an issue in the first place of the kids asking me for food. One bite, one is something else. More than that, no. I wouldn't even. Honestly, I love my child. I don't want to give him my food. If he wants food, he can ask for his own food. Or I'll make him his own portion. And if he eats it, he doesn't. If he doesn't eat it, he doesn't. If he does, he does. He's not taking on my damn plate. I'm teaching him that as fast as possible.
Don't ever grab grandma's plate.
Yeah, do you know how many parents talk about how they make their kids food and then all they want to do is eat? Their kids all only want to eat off their parents' plate. That's because you haven't taught them to not eat off your plate.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all the stories I had though. Do you want to read this first one? Am I the asshole for enforcing basic boundaries on my daughter's sleepover?
No.
No?
No, I mean, no. You're not an asshole.
Oh, yeah. It says poop mode activated.
Poop?
I don't know what that is. I, 42 male, have 2 kids living with me. My daughter, Anya, 17 female, and my stepson, Noah, 14 male. Noah's mom passed a few years ago, and I've had full custody since. He's had a rough go of it, but he's a good kid with his quirks. He's not antisocial or shy, but he does not appreciate having his space invaded. And when very upset, he can kind of shut down. Fair. Anya is much more outgoing and has a lot of friends. She asked to have a sleepover this weekend with 4 of them. I said yes, of course, but given that the friends who were coming were pretty loud and have a tendency to crowd Noah, I told her to make sure they don't go into her brother's room. Also to keep things down after 11 so that the house can sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. In my opinion, these are not strict rules. To my surprise, I came upstairs to check on them at about 10. They are 17. I didn't think I needed to check on them every hour or something, and they were in Noah's room. And they looked like they'd been there a while. 2 were literally sitting on his bed with him there. One of them was flipping through his sketchbook. Another was messing with his other stuff, and they were all kind of giggling in a weird way. Noah was clearly upset. He didn't say anything / move, but there was tears in his eyes, and he didn't respond when I tried to talk to him. I told the girls to get out right then, and that I was calling every single one of their parents. Anya was pretty upset with me, but I told her that I gave them 2 rules, and they failed it spectacularly. I did actually call one of their parents and sent them home as soon as possible. Anya blew up, saying I embarrassed her. I told her to go to her room and that we would speak on this in the morning. I spent about 20 minutes with Noah before he decided that he wanted to cool down on his own, and I went back to my daughter, who chose not to speak to me. It's late, both of my kids are hopefully asleep, and I'm left not knowing if I handled things right. How other way are you supposed to handle that?
Absolutely handled it right. It sounds like the girls were in his room bullying him, picking on him, or trying to make him uncomfortable. And his sister didn't do anything about it. Anything to stop it. Even after
She probably
was giving
encouraged it.
Yeah, she
from the
probably
sounds of it.
encouraged it.
Yeah,
Not only would I have sent all the girls home,
I
but
would have grounded her.
I would have grounded her ass.
Yeah.
Taken away anything that was fun to do. If she has a car, if she has, gaming system. I would have taken all that shit away. And I probably would have taken her door off of her bedroom. Since she wants to invade her brother's
Privacy.
and space, I probably would have taken her door off and let everybody invade her privacy and space and see how she liked it.
If you do that, you'll lose your door too.
Mm-hmm.
You handled things perfectly, okay? You set very reasonable rules, and your daughter decided not care and upset Noah. I'll ground her. She doesn't care to have embarrass Noah, but she sure cares that she couldn't get her way. What was she expecting after she broke the rules? Also, he said that the girls were laughing in a weird way. So were they making fun of him?
Yeah, that's what
before you got up there?
I think they were making fun of him.
And she's allowing it. She's probably like, oh, my brother's weird, so I'm just gonna make fun of him and let my friends treat him like shit.
No, she probably thought, I want to be popular with these girls, so I'm going to go along with whatever the hell they say.
No, see, I'm going with the first one because I've actually met people that do that.
Oh, you're right, but...
Yeah. If you're a dick, you're going to get in trouble for it. Yes, you are. Yeah. Hi.
I don't think you're going to be. I think it's going to be a very rough on you between your mother and I if you decide to be a dick.
Yeah, and Daddy said if you do anything that ends up you in jail, you're stuck there.
I'll come get you.
Especially if there's evidence.
I'll come get you. Yeah. I'm going to beat your ass all the way home.
You can bail him out. I'm not doing it. Especially if I know he did it. Yeah. Yeah. You're so cute. And the president to be set if there were no consequences, not only for breaking the rule, but for continuing to violate someone's boundaries while they were visibly uncomfortable. She will encounter all sorts of people with different issues / trauma, and she needs to recognize when she has crossed the line. Yeah. One thing I want to point out is how this may be something Noah thinks about a lot moving forward in life. You stood up for him against your daughter, your real kid, in quotation marks. As a teen boy living with a stepfather and stepsister, you have to wonder if he thinks you view them equally. You just proved to him that you do. He's as much as your son as your daughter. You absolutely handled this the right way. Your daughter was an inconsiderate brat. Consequences. As long as you follow through and are consistent and with both kids, then you're doing a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. Coming from a step kid that was treated differently, it's so important to show that you are not treating them differently. Right?
At least not treating them like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you should treat them differently at all.
No, you shouldn't. But you definitely shouldn't treat them like shit like you were.
Yeah. I was the literal definition of redheaded stepchild. Yeah. Yeah. But that's okay. Now I'm an adult, and I don't see them anymore.
Made you tougher. Made mommy tougher. Yeah.
Someone commented, holy hell, not the asshole. And it's honestly strange that four 17-year-old girls decided to spend their evening harassing a 14-year-old boy.
No, it's not strange.
No,
Girls
that's
are
Mean
evil.
Girls.
Girls
Yeah.
are evil.
It's very common. That's pretty much everyone's consensus.
But
Someone said, not the a-hole, they're 17, they should have known better. I want to know what that parent said. The parent, because he said he did end up calling one of the parents and then sending all the girls home. I want to know what that one parent said.
yeah, well, why didn't he call the rest of the parents?
He probably plans to, but it was really late at night
Oh, yeah.
when he sent the girls home. Because it was,
They probably all came
or
together.
it wasn't late. It wasn't really late. He said it was 10 o'clock when he got up there. And he told the girls to get out of the room, and then he called one of the parents and sent all of the girls home. So he probably was just
So
gonna wait
he
until the
sent
next
them-
morning.
Sent all the girls home with one.
Yeah, probably. This was posted 6 hours ago. So depending on the time zone, it might still be pretty early in the morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they said that it was really late when they posted this, and that was posted 6 hours ago. So depending on the time zone, they might either still be asleep or just haven't had the time to
Or still
hop on
arguing
and
with
talk to.
parents.
Yeah,
Or beating his daughter's ass
hopefully.
like he should be.
I think if you have to beat a 17-year-old's ass, that's really concerning. Really concerning behavior. Not for you, your child, that they require that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We gonna end. Say bye, stream.
Bye.
Say bye bye. Just smile.